It's Monaco, bro.
Monaco. It's a country in Europe. You should know.
Really?
It's like we
It's,
can give
it's
you a
actually
pass.
more of a kingdom.
It's a city-state,
than
it's not a country.
but, yeah.
We can give you a pass on Phenoculus because it's not an actual country, but like Monaco, come on.
I'm glad you pronounced Phenoculus right.
Okay.
Phenocylus.
It's
Binoculars?
Phenocylus, not Phenocylus.
It's Phenocylus.
Phenocylus.
Pretty
Oh,
sure
had
it's
okay.
people,
Pheno.
I had people asking me why we put penis cancer in rotation.
I think it's pronounced falafel.
Close enough. Still closer than
Focus.
Die Evil.
Alright, the stream's live, so welcome to everyone watching.
I thought the stream was already live.
You know, he just put
Oh
it
man,
out.
did they miss out on all those funny
yeah.
jokes?
We had
They
some
did.
great bants going on. Come on.
Welcome to
Instagram.
the ALTP Season 2 finals.
I think this is more like ALTPP team, like consolation finals.
Yeah, they do see your chat as the.
And naturally, PK doesn't even show up for it.
So as of joining us
Classic
instead of PK.
PK didn't make the cut actually. He's
Isn't,
riding the
isn't
bench.
he in like some sort of political school camp or something like that?
You win.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Model
Yeah.
UN.
Can you imagine PK as a politician? Like comparing our government's infrastructure to Costco?
I would vote for him over. Well, I'd vote for him over Trump or Clinton, but just shows how bad both of them are.
Would you really know anything
Alright,
about
so-
either of
so
them?
we
I feel
have,
like you just
uh,
know what, like the they're both so fucking terrible. Like
Okay, so if we do the
timeline.
first two rows of nominations, we have a total of 18 maps. Do we want to do any more?
I think we should just play it and figure it out when we get there.
Yeah,
Right. So
I
yes,
actually
no.
like these maps. Yeah,
That's still
I mean,
America.
this looks like a good set of maps, I guess.
Let's see.
Wait, are we doing the resubmissions?
Yeah, that's like one or two less maps as well. If we're not doing
Yeah.
those.
I want to test those for before. If we take those out, would we go to the are there two more noms that we can test, or would we go to sorted or what?
We'd go to more noms after that. I mean, we already have a pretty decent chunk of sorted.
I don't think there'd be. I think there'd most be like 4 or 5 more nominations because of the repeats.
I don't know if there's people watching wondering what the fuck that means, but noms is we each test all 146 maps. Takes about 10 hours, for me at least. So we all nominate two maps minimum that we want to test in this testing session, which bypass the primary testing session. Essentially, they don't like whatever other people voted for is irrelevant. If we nominate that map, that gets tested. And we also test the top 10 out of the most popular voted ones.
Top 11.
Or so. Yeah, they're both.
Well, even if we did the top 12, we'd still. I mean, those two maps got nominated anyway, so.
Alright. So are we ready to start?
Yeah.
Right. First map is gonna be Dawn. So let's
I thought you
randomize
said
these
dong
teams up.
then.
Yeah, Dawn. Dawn. Or Dawn. I don't know. Something like that.
I really
Dong.
wish we had more power over the map names, really.
What?
Apache Chief and Phenocylus.
Apache Chief is a great name.
Dave,
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Mapache, Chief.
remember to decrease waiting time for the next game.
I gotta
And
say,
I-
Oh
I
my
love.
god. It already starts now. I was hoping to avoid this with PK gone, but okay. Oh, did I? Okay, I think I changed things. Okay.
Go
who voted
on
for
O
this?
with that
What'd you like about it? I think I voted for this.
This is like the top map that we voted. Like.
Yeah. I didn't vote for it. Like, what
Okay.
you guys all liked it? What do you like it?
I thought the gates were interesting and cool, and make the bases dynamic, and it makes you think in a different way, which is something I always like.
The base is really well designed, but I'm not sure about how the gates is actually going to play.
Yeah, the gates are interesting because of the opposite nature, which is bound to cause a lot of confusion. I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing.
Oh,
wow.
come here.
I was
Oh,
trying
man.
to work out those gates, man. I got no idea with those.
How do you not have any idea how they work? Did you
That's
test
r-
it, Sizzle?
Yeah, I did. It's really
I don't
unintuitive.
think that's what he was saying.
It is
All
really
right.
unintuitive. That's what I was gonna say. Is like, I've tested this. I think I tested this one time too, just in Map and Fappin, and like I'm still not like comfortable like with though just like going for the gates because
Did you see me just like totally fuck fly over in that little?
yeah,
That
but
was
did you see
exciting.
as it completely just whiff on me because it's not intuitive?
So I like that aspect about the gates. I'm not sure how well it'll play out, which is why I wanted to test it now, but I don't think it needs to be super intuitive. Like after you test it for a little bit, it's pretty obvious what it's doing, even if you're not sure how to use it right away.
I think it's a similar thing to thinking with portals, where you just like, it's not immediately clear, but like once you get a little bit of practice, you know like how the portals work, and the same with these
Right.
gates.
I think there's a very important distinction between being not immediately obvious and flat out against what you would normally expect. Like thinking with portals, you go through those portals. I don't know where these portals go. I'm going to go through it and see where it goes. That's where it is. All right, let's get used to that. But this is like, this is just not like, this is against what it would normally be intuitively. Like it's nothing to explore here. It's just
Well,
different
I mean,
for the
that's
sake
just
of
like,
being different, almost really, isn't it?
I'm not sure if that applies too much because like you could say like if portals generally like went to the portal below them or something, you could say like, oh, I always expect portals to beat me down, but that doesn't always have to be the case. Like these gates are just like the opposite, so it's just the case of like this hasn't really been tried before, but that on its own doesn't like exclude it being a good thing.
I think it makes it a little more offensive because effectively you now have two gates instead of one with that huge clunky wall tile in the middle of it, which I don't really like. But also, like, people are going to go for the wrong gates and just let people through the wrong side a lot. I feel,
There's
but it
definitely
is
going to be a
interesting.
lot of growing pains with this.
Yeah. But what I do think is that that wall tile in the middle of it makes it very frustrating and clunky.
It makes
I
it
don't-
really.
Distinction like that, you really need to be able to distinct them like that.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure, like, we could get around that.
With the gates being backwards, it makes it really hard to fight for a button. There's no spikes nearby, right?
If someone's sitting on a button, you might be able to get the other button if they're not being cautious, you know? Like what Astif just did to me.
Oh, that was weird, yeah.
But if you're smart enough to not sit over the gate portion, then that won't happen. What do you guys think of the middle of this map? Because it's kind of just there, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty lazy. I don't
I mean,
like
The rest of the map is
VT
fairly
tiles.
stock standard, yeah. There's nothing new about that.
It does have like the spiky floor thing, but that's like the only thing noticeable about it.
I mean, that's the feature, right? The gate.
Yeah.
More or less deciding whether or not we like that or you think it feels. What do you guys think of putting this in experimental rotation?
So I think if we were to put this in, even though I don't think the gate is a bad idea or anything like that, in fact, I kind of like it, I do think that people at first would be just pissed off by it. And then it would at least initially bother people.
Yeah,
if
this is a map we need to give like a significant amount of chance in terms of time, like if we want to make it work because of that.
So I mean, this would be like the opposite of a good experimental rotation map.
Honestly, yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is the right kind of experimental. I think having something experimental that's like, all right, so this is different, but this is really cool and like really fun to play with. This isn't something that's necessarily cool or like, you know, exhilarating or whatever. I don't know if that, for want of a better word, but it's just something that you have to learn.
Yeah, and I mean,
it's different.
if we're looking for something that's like out there, you know, this isn't really that different of a map. It's got the gates that are a little unique, but for the most part, it's a fairly standard map, I guess.
Not every map has to be experimental, though. Just a reminder.
Yeah, I don't
Right,
think
right.
it is that experimental, to be honest. Like,
Okay.
other than the gates, but that's just like something that you have to understand how it works. Like, I'm sure when Wormy first came in, people didn't understand like the impact of those bombs and how that affected gameplay. But the more you play with it, the more you adapt to it, and then you involve it and with how you play that map. So just because something's hard doesn't mean it's experimental.
Well, I think
broken again.
I don't think that's a fair comparison because I think with the wormy bombs, once you get used to like, especially if you're talking about the double bombs, once you learn how to use those, you can be very inventive with using them, both as a flag carrier and as a defender, bombing people who are leaving the base with the spike and getting snipes or boost returns or whatever. Like, there's a ton of different things. Once you learn how to use this gate, it's just like every other gate. It's just a button.
It's not really just like every other gate, though.
It is in the sense that you're just using a button to either A, control a space, or kill somebody who's already in the space.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's a fair point. I mean, it's not a standard gate. Obviously, you can't control like, the section that you're right beside. You're controlling the opposite section, which means you have less control. You have control of a further area from you. So, like, if you have a chaser, you're not going to get your own chaser, for example.
It might allow for some amount of like cool jukes in the sense that like if somebody's like going towards the gate, then you have to go to the other button, and then at that point they can peel off or something. I didn't really see that happen in what we just did, but I think it's a possibility.
Something that I actually noticed about it too is like on like when you're boosting into base, like you're actually encouraged to basically have conflict with the people in the base, because if they're holding a button and that lane's open, you're encouraged to boost into that person specifically instead of into the gate, which I thought it was kind of cool, because it means that like from the moment that you enter base, you're dealing with someone in very close quarters and there's like already a fight. Does that make sense? I thought that was kind of cool.
Other than the gates, I think it was a pretty well-made map. I liked the base bomb, and I liked the outside boosts, but mid needs work.
I didn't think like mid was unspectacular, but I didn't think it really had to be to support the bases necessarily. I mean, I think it was fine. It probably could be improved, but
it needs to be
didn't
kept
bother me that much.
simple. But it's I just think that the team tiles and those spikes there are just a little bit lazy.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. Next up is okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, just sorry, I had one last comment. I mean, like it was other than the gates, there's nothing new about this map, and regardless of whether or not it's polished or whether or not it actually fits the rest of the map structure itself, is like that's. I don't think that's relevant. I don't think we need that in rotation at the moment. I think it is polished. I think it's fairly balanced. I think in some aspects it was kind of fun, but it just wasn't very new, bar the gates. Anyway, that was all. I don't know if someone wants to rebut that or if you just want to move on.
Alright, next up is gonna be Molotov. So, yeah.
Muzzled.
Pretty much, yeah. That's my Polish accent, right?
Wow, get fucked.
Wormy times Fino.
Oh god, if that's what it's like it kept like the spike nature from Fino just on purpose when you're coming with the flag.
I
So
would just say it's just Fino, just horizontal.
this isn't a huge deal, but I just want to say really quickly, in case the map maker watches this, there's that spike in like the back corner of the base that kind of acts like a renegade spike if you're boosting at the right angle, and that super bothers me.
Well, I mean, you shouldn't listen too much to Musen because Renegade is an awesome map.
Renegade.
Also, wasn't there a spike just like that on Fino?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, except there was like a collection of spikes instead of one corner
Yeah,
spike.
yeah, no, I know, but the same concept was on Fina.
So, I don't know if people are gonna like this boost into the base with the spikes surrounding it. I think that kind of pissed a lot of people off on Fino, and even the similar boost on Mapache. Can you guys hear me? Because I'm lagging.
Yeah,
like
I
crazy.
know.
Yeah,
we
we can
can
hear you. We're just ignoring you.
Okay, because I cannot play right now. And it's too laggy, but I can keep talking, I guess.
Not really really playing black lag, are we?
I have 11% loss.
Alright, fair enough.
Is anyone else kind of bothered by like the very top area in the middle? It just seems
Yes.
kind of useless.
Yeah, it's really useless, and it just makes the map a bit too vertical. I
Yeah,
would
like
wall that off.
yeah, like I need like this place to be a third lane, so I'm just gonna stick a pup there to make it attractive one time a minute.
Without the novelty of being Fino, because we've already seen basically this base, I don't know what this map really has to offer to rotation. That's my problem with it.
Well, what we need to ask is this better, or would it be more liked than MemeTeeCee? And I doubt that.
I think
I
it
would
would.
I
It's
would
not
say
in
it is.
rotation right now, so I think it like if we like it, I don't think like the basis being similar to Fino is something we can say is against it.
I've never seen a
I
shape
don't think
really
anyone
like
was
this.
saying
I mean, I guess you can say but these are the entrants. But other than that,
Yeah, this map really does feel like it has its own identity to me.
Oh, it's
Like-
on the outside.
Like
Okay.
there, of course, there's similarities. Like the map maker even said, like it's a combination of Wormy and MemeTeeCee, but it really does feel different. Okay, flat.
it's really cheesy.
Yeah, there's no reset happening.
Super circular.
I think one problem I have with the way the bases are laid out right now is that if you go bottom, you have the bombs that can spike you in, and like it, either that or you go like behind or you go through the one tile thing. But basically, one player can just block the one tile thing and like get the bombs if you go out the other way. So like you're kind of forced to go outside if you're playing as someone who knows what they're doing.
That's actually one of my favorite parts, though. Is like I love like risk and reward, and I think this map does it really well. I mean, it makes a really long path that's like super safe, but you know, slow. And then the fastest paths are inherently risky, and I like that.
Are any of them safe, really? Considering like pretty much every route is a choke point.
The whole top path I think is pretty well spaced out for being the quote unquote safe path.
Seems like boost to boost through the little spike lane is like by far the fastest, and it's not much less safe. I mean, it's easy to choke it off, of course, but
I'm so confused why this is chasey. I mean, like you said, every path is a choke.
so I think it's chasey because people
The
go
shape.
different directions each time they grab, and then you can't really force a reset because then your defender's on the other half of the map.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
It almost has the same flaw as a circular map, just slightly less of it. I get the feeling.
I think it's actually more similar to figure 8 than anything else.
Actually, yeah, it's just got the choke points are too far apart from each other, and the mid isn't tight enough to be able to contain it. As in vertically.
What?
Whoa! What?
What? That is a cap. Come on.
0.25.
What the hell?
I'm gonna try to do that horizontal boost way too much. That's not the map's fault as much as mine, but
The renegade
So-
spike.
Do you guys see what I'm
Sucks again.
saying though? Yeah, that renegade
Yeah.
spike. There's like actually a couple of them that are like right
Yeah,
where
there's
you'd want to
like-
be boosting.
One here, and if you miss that one, you get killed by the other one.
Is that like an effort to make it less chasey or just harder, or I don't?
I think it's just bad spike placement.
so something that I do like about this is when those wormy-esque boosts are diffused, it makes the bottom safer for the enemy FC. So like you have to make a decision as a defender whether you want to make grabbing easier or make escaping easier. Does that make sense?
To be honest, though, I think that one of the main reasons that many people found Phoenicialis frustrating was these boost spike areas. Because they were overly used and kind of very, very high traffic areas. And
Nobody
they
has
were
more-
unavoidable, effectively. So I think if we're gonna have Phoenicialis elements back in a map, I'm not saying it is a Phoenicialis ripoff, but if we're gonna do that, that spike boost area is probably gonna be one of the things we should change.
Just wanted to
We
point
don't
out,
change things, map makers do.
I'm just saying we as a generic term.
The royal we.
Exactly.
just wanted to point out in
I
that
am
game,
British.
nobody had more tags than Pops, and there was a lot of like 3 and 12s, which isn't a lot of fun for most people.
I think while this map is not rotation ready, one thing I really liked about it was that like it just had a lot of situations you've never really seen before in Tag Pro, which is kind of neat. But I think it needs to be kind of dialed a little bit back in before it's viable.
I don't know about that, but okay.
I agree. I mean, I don't. It was chasey, sure, but it wasn't necessarily an unfun chase like a lot of
And-
maps. Like Phoenicialis certainly was.
This survey did say they want more chasey maps.
And
This
big
wasn't
maps.
necessarily chasey. This was more hard to get resets, which isn't necessarily the same thing.
It's-
It's a
I was
type of
going in
chasey,
circles
but
quite
I
a
don't
bit.
think it's necessarily what people want. I think people want rewarding flag carrying, which this wasn't rewarding flag carrying. It just felt kind of fun to chase on. If we do a experimental rotation, so that's a candidate. But we won't. Hopefully.
Do we want to test the next one, or do we want to wait?
I thought we were gonna
until-
wait for 4v4s. I could be wrong. For like final, I mean. 'Cause
That's
we're
fine
already
with
in
me to push
4v4.
it through.
Alright, let's light her up.
For those watching, it's just because it's an update to an old map.
It's a
We're not
update
just
to a horrible
randomly,
old map.
arbitrarily choosing maps to push
It's
through.
not a horrible map.
It was
Well,
like
I mean,
plus
they wouldn't know which
put
map we're talking about
0.46.
because we haven't named it.
I know.
So,
but
like, everyone
you gotta
can
keep
just-
the intrigue up.
Yeah, guys,
Yeah.
we're
Is it
retesting
my
Grail
horrible
and
map
Speed.
or is it someone else's?
Birch 2.
Perch
Grail of
2,
Platyp-
oh god.
Grail of Platypies.
Sizzled wasn't happy with his top maps record, so he had to resubmit Birch again.
It's just the original version of Birch again, but as the update said, he might go in a different direction this time.
I'll try.
Alright,
I'll
let me
try,
just
I'll try a
change-
different recreational drug as I create the new version.
So, just to disappoint 2P1 us a little bit, the next map we're going to test is named Market.
With Claymore.
But it's not the market.
Hmm,
classic map.
let's see. I'm
This
just going
one
to
was
rename
originally
it.
called Claymore, wasn't it? It doesn't look like it's
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
changed
No,
a
Claymore.
lot.
it's title.
Title now.
Title. I remember testing this months ago. It doesn't look different at all. Albeit,
It wasn't-
I probably don't remember it as much.
Also, right now I'm searching through like the submissions, and we literally have 22 maps that are submitted that has a variation of Market in its name.
Beautiful.
And I was pretty tempted to just. I think I skipped
Every
over a
game
lot of the
has
maps that were just
R2.
called Market.
The description of my map was Market, so if you just like search, that would come up.
Yeah, there might be a couple, but most of them actually are named Market, so it's at least like 15 maps, which is insane. Anyway,
Market's like not
we
even a good
fixed.
name too, which is what
yeah.
gets me.
We have now fixed that, so we have one less result, and it's called Title. So let's test that one.
We decided not to test Draft and Bulldozer.
You said the name, Tub.
You... Now the
Damn it.
tree gets
Literally
gone.
useless.
Who's gonna want to watch this now?
Yeah, what
know?
about the sequel?
Kind of cliffhangers and catchphrases and shit. Make a soap opera out of the map test community everybody's. We just gotta televise it. I
It'd be
remember.
brilliant.
Okay, I remember doing this map months ago, maybe even a year ago, really.
Yeah,
Months
about a year
ago.
ago. It was before I was on the MTC.
I remember the number one issue we had was with those portals being out far out of the way, right? You could pretty much move around the outside of the map unseen, get to this boost, go through the portals, and you're in the end zone. None of the defenders have seen you. So that was a really big problem. And that, I mean, the structure of the map doesn't appear to have changed.
I don't really.
I still.
Is that really a problem? Because every time I've tested this map with multiple people, it's like that's kind of a non-issue. It just feels like the portals are so far out of the way that they're almost irrelevant. It's just like a back and forth in that lane.
Yeah, I don't really see like the point of the portals.
Okay, so
to be
they have a
honest.
cooldown on one side, which I think could be interesting, except that it's so short that it's literally never relevant.
Also,
I
just
agree.
generally speaking, really not a fan of like the opposite team boosts in those gates.
I
Grumble,
mean, think
grumble.
of the replays though.
Yeah, I just made it through the gate before. Not to brag.
So
I
I'm not,
mean, I think the idea for it is that they want to encourage people to hold buttons for your teammates, which is like, I mean, encouraging like teamwork and communication is never really a bad thing.
But if
Yeah,
you're gonna
and
do
you
that, then
take
you have
away
to.
like the snipe option you have on a map like Command Center.
If you're gonna do that, you have to like change the button position because right now it's gonna make it super like clusterfucky in that area because the button
True.
is so close.
And I think what is slightly annoying is if someone gets the button, then they get miles ahead than everyone else who has to go around.
I think this is just gonna be super defensive without having a boost for offense to really take uncontested.
so I, just to go on to a different topic, I really don't like these exit portals. It seems like the person on regrab should be able to get an easy cap. Like, I know that there's a gate here, but if you keep like one person on regrab and one person on the gate, then you can always get like a return, like a response cap.
Yeah, but that sacrifices two of your players. I don't really have a huge problem with that.
But it's like a free cap, you know?
I mean,
think-
Vault had a very similar gate
It's never hard
structure,
enough to
but because of the
play
portal
cap on.
exit, that wasn't
I
an
don't
issue.
think you can use two people.
I just think the exit portal is on the wrong side, if that makes sense. Like, it puts you not even back to your side of the map.
Hmm.
You're like not even relevant in terms of helping your team defend if you go through the portal.
Kind of similar to the Ricochet exit portal. Except it's not like in your vision when you exit.
I think like killing yourself on a gate might actually be like a quicker way back to
Oh.
base than just going through the portal, but I'm not sure.
I mean, we could test it because we're named the map testing committee.
Well, the
Is that what it stands
Ricochet
for? God damn.
exit portal also kind of has that issue. So I
But
don't know.
At least you're like
Skeety,
on
Skeety.
the other side of the
Yes.
map when you do that, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like you can see like what's happening when you're entering it.
I would probably camp this gate for half the game just because it's fun.
Hey, old LMAO.
Vault wasn't as campable.
No, I know.
No,
That was
it's
the
not really
problem.
as
That was
capable
one
as,
of
like,
the
Vault,
things
for
that
example.
people.
No, Vault was less campable.
Do you think Volt was less campable than this one?
Yeah, absolutely. Because
I just
the,
got fucked on that gate. Like,
the
that's way
button
harder
was
to.
usually camped defensively. When you camp the button on your defensive side, you're gonna get off the button as soon as you see the flag carrier go past. That's not the case here because you're holding it for your offensive partner, and once, like, it's more like command center, I guess, in that sense. Like, because if one or two things happen, is that the defenders turn around and go back past through the mid, in which case you've done the best you could and you try and get the return, or the defenders cap, in which case you continue to camp the button to make sure that your team can get the regrab first. And this gate setup's a lot more comparable to Command Center than it is to Vault, which I think is probably more trying to emulate, really.
I think that's fair to say, but you might have a point actually. Just because it's so hard to get around. It's like a really long distance to travel to challenge someone on that button if you're in base. Sweet, pixel
Ambitious.
perfect.
Had to go for it.
If you could get really good at that, then
Oh man, I had a
Table.
weekend command center working like 20% of the time. It was great.
Oh my god. Holy cow.
Just one thing I don't like is the 45s in the base. So when you take that super bomb, I guess it's called, or whatever, it rolls you down and then onto the 45, which then takes you away from the end zone, which probably does balance things a bit more, but I don't know, I don't really like it. It feels awkward.
yeah, I think maybe that at least helps the bombs to not be super powerful.
Yeah. Seems like it would be naturally quite a defensive map anyway, so.
Yeah, the end zone's pretty large, but since there's not much of a way to like boost in or bomb in, I'm not too worried about it being offensive, I guess.
Skip the next map as well.
Probably because it's a little different than like the current neutral flag maps. I feel like we're kind of getting into like slimmer stuff, and it changes it up a little bit.
I don't think it was very different at all. I think it was a lot like command Ricochet, but with a lot more balance flaws in the shape of the map, in the mid setup of the map, exclusion of the gates, with the button bombs. It reminded me a lot of, and its simplicity as well. It reminded me a lot of Ricochet. But less good.
Alright, next up is gonna be Ratatat.
Maybe go check.
Yeah, so it's for maps that move through to the next
Okay.
phase.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Let's make it rain.
You know, at like metal music concerts and shit, how like fuck, who said it was a Metallica? Who like you hold your fist in the air, but you unclench your finger, your index finger, and your pinky finger.
That's literally just like the rock on symbol. You didn't have to
Right.
make that such a huge
And-
deal.
Okay, and that's what the gates look like.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh my god.
Metal as fuck.
Devil horns, okay.
That would be a better name for this map than Ratatat, which, in
Actually,
my
it would be
opinion, is a terrible name.
Is it a joke on the Pokemon?
Moosin!
Oh god.
What the
Oh
fuck?
god.
How do you miss that?
That's on the stream.
That's okay. I've been MVP like every game basically.
Oh no.
Yeah.
The only one that I wasn't MVP, I was tied for it. So y'all can suck my dick.
All right. You're MVP like 90% of the time. Okay.
So, our concern about this last time we tested it, aside from the gate being changed, was that it seemed like it'd be really chasey. Do we think that's going to be any different?
There's no resets last time.
I think it's a
Right.
bit better this time. It's a lot cleaner.
Well, there's just a reset happened right then.
I
Like
just think that
it wasn't only really easy to maintain a regrab chain because the map was so circular, or figure 80 really, but also because even when there was a reset, like there's an exit on the top of the base and then 180 degrees all the way to the bottom of the base. And so even when there is a reset, it's super easy to get out of base in the first place.
I think this time it's less easy to exploit the gates as an FC, which is why I think we're getting some more resets this time.
Yeah, I think that's true, especially since there's not the inside buttons.
Yeah, that's mainly the big change there.
Is it less interesting now because of that?
Not really. I think it's more clean now. But it's just better made, I think.
I like the mid gates a lot
Yeah.
more than the previous version.
Turn for cap. Damn it.
Oh my god. Alright.
I don't know. Do you guys like these gates before? They feel like they're more trolly. Like you can use them as an SC and just really annoy your defenders or your chasers.
I feel like it's what Paragon's gates were trying to do, and this one just does it a lot better.
I don't
Actually-
remember what Paragon is.
It's my
It's
map.
snacks or Teg's map. Sorry.
I feel like I'd remember if I made it.
I want to say something about the gates actually. So you mentioned them being kind of like trolly or whatever. I actually don't see that as like being the case because both buttons are like really accessible for each base. So respawns are gonna kill you on one side, and on the other side, regrab like is gonna challenge you, or has the potential to. So it feels like they're not buttons that are so far out of the way that it's gonna be a huge nuisance to like get to them.
Your mic's cutting out a little bit, by the way. Sounds like it's not plugged in properly.
Yeah, sorry.
Oof. The boosts feel good too. I think the positioning of those has improved.
Being able to boost through the mid, I think, really helps this map.
I think the team boost through the gate is kind of a cool thing. Like it allows you to get ahead unless somebody's on the button, which I guess just gives another reason for the gate to be there. And then I fucked it up, but that's okay.
I'm not sure why this outside lane boost is a team boost though. Like this one behind the island here in the other team's base. I think that should just be a neutral because it is quite an offensive map anyway.
Yeah, I think that's a valid concern.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't mind the boost myself, but I don't think it suffers from being a neutral either.
I guess it allows the grabbing tool that will just always be there, but I don't really know if that's something that there needs to be.
Yeah, it needs to be on a map like Constriction, but on this it doesn't because the base is so open in the first place.
Hmm.
What do we think about these pup areas? They could be annoying, overly spiky, or they could be quite interesting.
I don't particularly care for them, but I don't hate them. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're fine. Nothing
it's
like
cool
too
to
amazing or
accept.
anything, but they sort of remind me of like a differently oriented hub pup area.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Sort of.
But Hub's pup area was really tiny and just annoying to navigate around.
But it was awesome.
It wasn't. Nothing about Hub was awesome.
Hub was
How are
great.
you on the
Must
map test committee if you
accept
don't like Hub?
Exactly.
Because I'm a member of the community that
I'm pretty sure
By
if
and
you
large,
fill
hates
out your
Hub.
application and you didn't mention how much you loved Hub, we just immediately discarded your
That's actually
application.
how I got on the committee, even though Hub wasn't in yet.
That's not
thankfully I
accurate.
didn't apply at all. I was just put on.
Oh right, that's probably my fault.
I got around that one quite well.
Fucking sneaky.
But I mean, Hub was cool. One thing Hub did really, whether you liked it or not, one thing Hub did really well was it like facilitated some really awesome flag carrying, like individual players, really cool juking. And if Ratatat emulates this in one way, like with the pup area, I think it'd facilitate those same kind of like really awesome jukes, defensive snipes into the pup area, some nice steals or whatever. It's a huge step up from last version. It feels like. Doesn't feel like a lot has changed, but it still feels like it's a lot better. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think Ratatat is like the first map we've tested that feels like it adds something new and also flows really well.
The style reminds me a lot of Renegade as well. I know it's the same author, but Nigel's done like a lot of really wacky different types of maps, but this feels more like Renegade, and I like it a lot more than his other maps.
Can we not mention map makers because it's kind of biased?
Bro, coming from you.
And it's not a critique on the map, it's just a kind of additional comment.
They're trying to tell us something, Tab. Alright, next up is gonna be what I assume is Snack's map because he's the only one who would straight line everything like that.
straight line snack. That's what they call him.
I guess there's worse things to be called.
Not straight smack? Snack? Fuck. There's an Oceanic player called Smack.
Sound it out.
Shout it out.
So this is dealer, by the way.
In other news, Australia is in the grand final for Eurovision.
Oh wait, as in the UK.
No.
Oh, for fuck's sake, we never are. It's because the rest of Europe hates the UK because we're dicks, basically.
I actually like Bonnie Tyler though.
Aren't you like
Tell it was the
automatically
last
in the
year.
final or something?
Scandinavia always vote for each other, so I assume Norway and Sweden and all of those are always in because they're like best buds.
Not always, but often.
So what
Yeah,
was it? This map last time it had that extra like tumor type section on the bottom of the map, which was like really laney. It was really laney. It was really tight. It was like, it felt like walking through a maze. There's also a concern raised with the base, with all the elements being in a straight line like that. It would A, be difficult to use in creative ways, and B, was that a joke? It wasn't funny. And B, it would also be really cluttered in the base. There's just so much going on. I don't know if the latter of those 2 points has necessarily been resolved, but the open mid. I mean, a lot of maps are doing that open mid that...
God damn
I mean,
it.
the first map that we tested was a lot like this mid in its...
God,
the
that
elements
gate
it
is so
used.
annoying.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the open mid. I kind of liked how it had lanes in the map. It just overdid the lanes in that last version. Now I think you need to go back and add a bit more lanes. Helpful advice from Tag.
Yeah, can you have like the right amount of lanes? Not too many, not too few. It's not a lot to ask for.
Like the fucking Goldilocks of map making.
Okay, but to be fair, that was like the most intense like straight line cap I've ever had. It feels like, to like use a PKism, it feels like you're like sprinting to the chopper through a battlefield and people are just trying to like shoot you the whole way. Yeah. It's pretty
Kind of like
exciting.
snipers.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a Hillary Clinton style. It landed
my
under
God.
heavy gunfire. It's not a PKism unless there's something political in it, I think.
Yeah.
I hope viewers take note of this as well, so that we dick around a lot more on other MTC maps. Give less of a shit. If you think we're more biased towards MTC members, it's quite the opposite. Fuck, it's fun to make fun of other MTC members to their face.
It really
To be
is.
honest though, like I wasn't dicking around, like I feel like that's a really legit feature, you know? The chopper aspect.
I think, but like how linear it is going to get boring after a while.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think there's enough like interesting about it that like how linear it is going to be like a small feature. Like I think you guys are over exaggerating how linear it is.
I actually agree with Phil on that.
Oh God, really? Okay, never
I
mind.
know, right?
Makes you question everything.
I kind of see it like the opposite way, where I feel like the linearity of it will make it interesting and different compared to other maps.
That's actually an interesting perspective. Oh god, oh god, oh god!
We had
What?
Nice boost fly.
It just reminds me of the thinking with portals. Portal. Don't like that.
Wait, what took you a
But
while to
it's
type?
done in a much better way, though.
It
have to
is.
admit.
Well, is it?
Very high scoring.
It
Well, I
isn't
mean,
a
I'm
much
talking
more
about-
straightforward way.
No, I mean like the
Thinking with
map
portals.
itself. It's like a lot more straightforward. You don't have like bombs in the middle that are crazy and then team tiles everywhere.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you literally meant more straightforward or.
Oh. Cool.
Okay, so I do see it leading some interesting defensive tactics. I'm not
I
sure
think my
about the
main
boost
problem-
positioning.
Well, I'm not sure if it's the main problem, but it's kind of like it feels annoying that the button is so close to the portal for the gates. Just like it means like someone can just follow you into the portal, and like even if they're behind and they're making like a mistake with that choice, they still get to like, oh, here's the button that you can hit them with if they don't hit the wall before they hit the portal.
I think it balances it a bit more. There. By the way, does anyone else think these team boosts suck on top mid? They just seem completely pointless to me.
I just don't think they're particularly exciting. I don't think they're awful though.
Yeah, they're kind of there, really.
They
It's
just seem really
intended to
clunky.
give. I think it's intended to give them out more verticality, but I don't know if it.
2, 1.
Not my favorite feature.
Not my cup of tea, I'm afraid.
My copper,
My cup of tea.
not my cup of tea.
Okay, that was really bad, but you usually have a pretty good English accent, so I'll let you off.
Fuck, I forgot how to say thank you in British. Cheerios,
Cheers, mate.
goodbye. Cheers, well, that's Australian.
Well, cheers.
Cheerio.
No, that's goodbye.
Yeah, I know. We say, do you say hooroo? We say hooroo.
No, that's an Aussie thing.
Yeah, okay.
Any final thoughts on the map?
It's not fun. How do you find it fun, Dave? How is that not
Yes.
fun?
Because it's different and interesting.
This is the kind of shit that people hate from the map test committee. But I'll leave that.
I think it's pretty bad, apart from the portal gate dynamic, which has potential.
Raven has a comment about the last map, and we can get it on stream. Go on.
Oh yeah. I said this in Twitch chat, but I don't think anyone's watching that. So if you make the portal respawn instantaneous on that map, you can just boost like in an infinite loop, like into and out of the portal, and I think that would be the greatest map element of all time.
All right, I forgot that you
People
like
would,
memes.
Yeah,
people
so
would just do that all game.
Exactly.
so what I think Snack should do is just like fill all the empty spots in that line with just different boosts. So like once like the
Oh,
boost
God.
towers get off, you'll kind of like just be in an eternal loop where there's always a boost spawning under you.
What
And
if I,
super boosts.
what
Like
if
a
I put
spectrum
a
of
bomb
colours.
in front of the portal so you can only go through the portal when it's not there? And it
You're not allowed to
hornswoggles
talk
you?
about your own map, Snack.
Wow, it was,
Yes,
clear,
Snap.
it was clearly a meme. Jesus.
Can we disqualify this map now? Can we do that? We disqualify Snack from all future submissions for talking out of
Oh
turn.
my god.
Oh boy.
This is what happens when you try to meme.
Or snack.
Rip. Right. Yeah, that was constructive. So let's move on to Atomic. The good old pop song.
By who?
Blondie. A really good group.
I like that one that goes.
Blondie's like for sure one person.
Time behind.
Wait, Blondie is what? Snack?
Like one person.
No, they're actually a band.
Really?
Yeah, they're a
How did
band.
I
Yeah.
not know that?
I mean, the
Just
lead
because,
singer is
like-
very blonde though.
Yeah, so you just like think, oh, it's just like the girl.
Just like her persona.
Alright.
Wow, get fucked right away.
They were actually like really instrumental in getting the new wave movement off ground.
Instrumental? Is that because they were musicians?
Yes.
Boy.
I knew some sort of joke like that was coming.
I
Alright.
thought that was the Talking Heads. Or Talking Heads. They're one of my
I think
favorite
they
bands.
were like also a huge part.
So
Map just confused.
Immediately,
Plus they're better.
immediately this map feels like different to me than something I've been accustomed to playing, and I really like it. And not just in a like, oh, I haven't tested this map before way, but in like a this layout feels unique. The elements itself feel engaging and different. I don't know. It's like, sorry, go ahead. I was just gonna say it's not even like drastically different in an experimental way. It's just really well done with pretty standard elements from what I've seen so far.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it almost like not in a bad way, kind of in an interesting way. It strikes me as like a Portal as Scorpio.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Nice one.
I mean, Scorpio is a good map, so
Yes.
I think that's
Don't
it.
fuel
I was
Tubsy
just
go
looking-
even more.
I was
I don't think
just
it's a
looking
very
for a
fair
compliment.
comparison,
That's all
to
I
be
wanted.
I see this as being way more fast-paced for the flag carrier.
It is as you said, man, it's very different, but there's still like, it feels very familiar at the same time. Like this isn't. I mean, it's obviously. I guess if this were
Get
in
fucked in
rotation,
the delayed manner.
if this were in rotation, it'd probably be smaller than Mode 7, but it doesn't play nearly as small as. Like
No, it
as
doesn't.
as a flag carrier, it doesn't feel like you're as hopeless as you were in Mode 7, running out of space.
Why are
At
you
the
talking about
same
Mode
time,
7
it's
like the past?
As gimmicky small as Market.
It feels pretty constricted as flag carrier to me. I don't hate that element of it because I think it can be kind of a cool thing, but I do get that sense that when you're FC, you're always like an inch away from somebody.
Yeah.
It feels quite open to me. Like it feels open enough. Like I have enough choices in FC.
I really don't like those button bombs.
I feel like these mid bombs are so easy to like. You can cut off basically the entire map because there's spikes on either side. That like they feel like they're playing a little bit overpowered. I feel like if they were limited just a little bit more, it would really help the map.
I don't necessarily see like bombs unless you have like 50 of them in like a very obvious gimmick kind of thing. Like I don't see them generally being very overpowered because like they're only up every 30 seconds. As long as you're conscious enough to defuse them, they're not going to affect you that much. So I think that actually adds a layer of depth to the strategy as opposed to being a negative aspect.
I haven't seen like a single case where I haven't had at least one of the two bombs that I can use to slow down an FC, or I can use it to camp on as an FC. Like, you know, camp behind it and then blow the defenders away when they come, kind of thing.
I actually kind of agree with Tub because like the thing about the bombs is that if they're up, you can control like both lanes, and there's only 2 lanes above and under the bomb.
Well, it's the same thing can be said for Pilot, and people love Pilot. Like you just have to know which bombs to defuse and when to defuse them.
No, but like on Pilot, you have to choose either top or bottom bomb if you're talking about the middle. And on this, you can sit on one bomb and basically like close all lanes for an FC if you do it smartly.
Is that not the case on Pilot? That all lanes are closed? Like, there's one fat lane in Pilot, and anyone who's good at
Yeah, but
Jackro,
I'm talking
meaning
about
not
the
me.
influence of the bomb, basically. Like the bomb influences almost all tiles above and below. Whereas on Pilot, it influences just below the middle, like from the top to the middle or bottom to the middle. So like
Same time,
one
you
bomb
have less-
doesn't like influence the whole section on Pilot.
That's true, but you also have half as much ammunition with these bombs as you did on Pilot.
Yep.
Which may be a counter. I don't know. Maybe it's just saying that you can't really compare the two, but
I mean, sure, like, yeah, I mean, and also you can make the argument that, like, if you hit a bomb from the top, you can, like, bump into a bottom bomb and, like, cause, like, sort of a sphere of influence all over the place like that, but still, like, that is a very situational thing, along with, like, the double bomb giving you, it gives you 2 chances, but doesn't give you, like, double the influence, while on this one bomb, like, controls the entire area.
sorry, Snack, I killed the wrong one.
There's like lots of small areas in which you can get killed by spikes on this map, which could be a good thing or a bad thing.
I really don't like that thing that Moosin just did. Where it looks like you should chain these boosts together and then it spikes you.
Oh,
yeah. It's
think
a
it's
very
just 'cause-
natural boost into a spike.
It really seems like it should take you to the flag, but then
To be honest, this map feels like it has too many spikes. For such a small map. If it was widened a bit and made a bit bigger, then maybe, but this seems a bit too dangerous.
it's not bad though. I like a lot about this map. I just feel like I'm dying so easily, and part of that is that I'm not a great FC, but that's not all of it.
Also, was anyone else annoyed by that slight hornswoggle bomb gap thing? It seemed like it played into the game way too much to like be just a minor issue.
I didn't really notice it playing in a huge amount, and I kind of liked it regardless.
Oh, I don't really
opinions.
think like the gap needs to be there, like in the first place.
I mean,
But
it's
it's not
it
like
would
a
just
huge
take up
issue.
more space.
Well,
If you had it surrounded or closed off on one side, it would just take up more space.
Yeah, it's not an issue, but like it's not like essential to the map. Like you're not gonna use that path to anything else than just like maybe juking someone. Like it's not like an entrance to exit really, compared to like the Hornswoggle bomb.
I also think if you wall that off, you're losing a big part of the map's identity. I feel like a lot of it is in that bomb.
I didn't like. One thing I noticed in the map, I didn't feel like I had a lot of control. I don't know, both as a chaser, as a defender, playing no grab, as a flag carrier, which is an offender trying to get a grab. I never felt like I had a lot of options, or I had a lot of control. Whether it was because, as Steve was talking about before, how those bombs just have such a massive sphere of influence. The boosts being restricted, you can't really take them in a lot of directions. By the time you line it up, because the map's so small, you've already got a defender in your face. You can't grab because there's really no grabbing mechanisms that don't put you straight into a wall. I didn't feel like I had a lot of options or a lot of control in the map. I don't like that.
Yeah, I have that issue with a lot of maps. I wasn't really feeling it that much with that map because it was very open, and like you could hide behind things and stuff, which is unlike the first map we tested, Dawn, which pretty much just had an open mid. But I feel like I had a few options, just because like all of the structures were very small, and it was chaotic, but I felt like I could avoid them enough. Maybe it could use some more balancing.
It didn't feel like a frustrating type of chaos. I agree there was some chaos, but it didn't feel frustrating because it felt like, because of how open and like the viewport that you have in relation to where the elements were, you could kind of prepare for that chaos. If that makes sense.
I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like chaos, almost by definition, you can't prepare for, or else it's not chaos.
Okay. Well then, the explosiveness of the bombs and the quick moving elements you could generally prepare for.
Okay. All right.
So, with all the talk I was talking about, like it being hard to hold or claustrophobic as FC or whatever, I think the biggest issue for me is just that like boost chain into the spikes, which is such an easily fixed thing. I think this map could be really cool. With some edits, I think it would be really interesting.
Cool.
Alright, next up we're gonna test curb. So, curb your enthusiasm.
Ooh.
How long have you
Classic.
been waiting to say that one?
Like 3 seconds.
He definitely like writes all of these down before the meetings.
Yeah.
Honestly, I half
Just to
believe
bring
he
them
would have
up.
just nominated the map just so he could pull out that one line.
Upon
I actually
accurate-
nominated this map too, though.
I had it on my nom list too, yeah.
Upon accurate is not spontaneous. Let's be
Wow, I
honest.
got your pup. You guys are bad.
So, does it seem odd how easily you can hold the button for yourself?
I kind of like that.
No, I think that's a unique feature, and the way that the exit portal is placed makes it so that it's not like absurdly overpowered. Like it's not like straight across that gate area. It takes you back a little bit, and
So,
it doesn't prevent defense from getting back in front of you quite easily, actually.
so what does the gate really serve? I mean, I understand if somebody's fighting you for that button, what the gate would do, but
It basically gives you an extra tile of catch-up, at least as I see it, because, well, half a tile maybe, because you can hit it while
Yeah.
there's still.
The base is very small, so it's likely for you to
somebody,
just be slightly
somebody
behind.
chased me. Somebody chased me. Oh my god, Tag. Fuck you. Somebody chased me while I try to go through there, and let's see what happens.
I've never
I
heard
don't
Snack
need to
that
have the
angry
photo.
at me before. I
Because
feel
I'm
slightly
trying to
terrified.
actually test a map.
I'm just trying to, play it like a pub, man.
Trying
That's
to
what,
test the
that's
map.
what we're
You
meant to
came to
do.
the wrong place, pal.
Somebody,
That was a nice button.
somebody on blue come to blue base and help me test this.
Alright, let's see. You just want to do a push grab?
I just want to see, like, if you're just like a little behind me, what happens when I try to go through. So that's pretty much what was expected, but
I don't know
What if
that
you
you're even
get,
going
like-
through directly though.
what if you get like... I just...
Maybe, yeah.
I'm thinking it's pretty rare that it's gonna matter that there's a gate.
Plus, the fact that it's a team gate literally changes nothing.
Yeah, it could be green. Wouldn't do anything.
Somehow I just died on the
It-
outside portal.
It actually does change something. It makes, because you have to take a pretty precise angle. Not like really precise, but you do have to take a specific angle
Oh, yeah.
to like get to use that, whereas it's a lot more flexible in terms of entry angle for defense.
To me, that just makes me more nervous and not like it's like a huge part of the map.
But the
Makes
thing
me,
is,
every time I'm doing it, I feel nervous.
the thing is, the specific angle that you need to take is a straight line from the flag. You'll almost always be going at that angle, right?
If you're in
I mean, if you go straight from the flag, but like if you're juking around, you're not gonna have that angle naturally.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the portal. Anything else about like the overall shape and how the map plays in general? Apart from that,
I hate
pretty
this
basic,
pop.
pretty unoriginal, pretty small.
I mean, the mid is nothing fancy, but again, this is one of those maps where I don't feel like it needs to be. The base is, in my opinion, very well designed to the point where it pretty much carries the map.
I like the rest of the map, alright? I like the portal
Triple
from
boost
the other
is
direction.
I like
I
the triple
like-
boosts.
Yeah, I like the triple boost. If you hit them coming in, you can
Oh,
hit
what the
them
hell?
like off the curve or whatever. The main issue I have is button placement, honestly, and I think another part is if you're like trying to hold this button, it's so easy to kill somebody who's trying to hold the button to the point where I think it'll be really annoying.
You realize you can get your own button, right?
That's
Like
what,
that's the
that's what
point.
we were talking about for like 2 minutes.
I
yeah.
know. I'm just making sure. The way you said that made it sound like
No.
you're expecting other people to be holding the button for.
No, holding the button as in if I'm on the opposite team and I'm trying to hold the button to cut off the neutral gate.
Actually, try that. So like, Fly, can you get on the button and like I'll try to fight you and see like if I can easily get through.
what?
See,
I
that's
mean,
the
like,
thing
it's
that I
not in-
like. Yeah, it's like not a guaranteed through the portal. You have to be good about it.
I don't have a problem with it being hard.
Your mic is cutting out, Flair.
I think she said she doesn't have a problem with it being hard.
A
That's what she said, etc.
I'm seeing a distinct lack of resets, though we did just get one. But other than that, like I think this map
With
is
attack,
more
bro.
balanced than the last one we saw, which had a portal set up like this, which was XD Raw. Overall, I think this is more balanced than that map.
Actually,
In
Rose
fact,
portal
that-
setup was terrible though. Like,
But
and
The
did it
this
have
one
the
sort of
same
has the
exit?
same idea.
Did it have the same exit style though, like where you can go out? I don't.
Similar.
I don't
Yeah,
remember
it's
it.
really cinema. Similar?
Really cinema? What?
It was cinema.
It was really
Cinema.
cinema.
I think the frustrating part about that map was really counterintuitive because there were like boosts, and you wanted to like either do like a wormy boost or you wanted to like go and boost in directly into base, and it was kind of convoluted.
Did you guys notice how many terrible wormy boosts there were this?
There's
Yeah.
always a lot.
That's every thread.
I know,
Yeah,
but
there's
this was
always
more-
wormy boosts.
No,
I mean,
the-
we even put in one with Transilio way back.
I
Those
felt
are
like
different to other team though.
the boosts like this one in the very corner of base, I think those ones are stupid.
They're kind of nice for like micro jukes.
It doesn't really bother me. I think it's kind of interesting.
I feel like all of the individual elements in this map, and then the entire
I
map
don't
as a
like
whole.
it, but I don't hate it either.
I
Sorry,
mean,
what did you say? I couldn't hear you over the sound of me already making a point and starting it.
God, holy cow, you are a dick.
Fly versus Sis round 2.
What?
Trick Boogaloo.
Ding ding ding.
I can't really
don't
think
get
of
it.
anything to describe this map other than just gaudy, really. Like, it's just, everything, it just seems
I haven't
strange
welcomed it.
and silly.
I don't know. I think the mini rails are kind of cute, but that might be biased.
That's a shame if you actually have me local muted flying.
Yeah, that's like definitely not okay.
I have an application soon, right?
Map applications.
I don't like that the nominations page is brown. I don't know if I fix that.
Make it pink.
Pink.
I liked it better when it was like that poop color brown.
It is. Oh, no, I mean like down the bottom. I can do pink.
Mirrors the quality of the maps. Oh wait, you're on stream, I shouldn't say that.
No, it's yeah, no, the threads, the maps this thread were really bad. I'm saying that as an author.
Next up is Blitz.
Let's.
So if you're Polish like me, just don't worry. It's gonna be over very soon.
Wait, what is?
World
This
War II.
reference to
He's
Blitzkrieg.
making a World War II
II.
reference. That happened.
Well. Yeah, I know.
I'm
come from the
noticing I'm
country
getting
that the Blitz
bombed a
happened.
lot around this map right now.
Nice one, Mason.
That's classic Moosin right there, to be honest.
Now that's what I call Moosin.
Good old vintage. Listen.
I noticed a lot of people in their initial comments, the people who made them, pointed out that the button bomb didn't feel very good going through the portal.
Who even made comments this thread?
Made them on all the like maps that I really cared about, so obviously not this one.
I did on some of them.
LMAO.
Wow.
Yeah, generally me and Moose make comments on every map.
Yeah.
And so do I.
Snack
Darcy
usually
does
does
it.
it.
yeah, Ted as well.
But this
I-
time I didn't because there was 150 maps and I was just like, you know what, fuck this.
See, that's why I said only me and Moose.
See, Teg only cares about you guys like 120 maps worth. I care about you guys 150 maps worth.
So
It's not a popularity contest.
for the
I
map,
just hate everyone.
I like how a lot of these boosts are sort of structured on a 45, so you can take them on either side. It's like they look restricted, but they have at least a couple uses each. I think that's a really interesting aspect.
Oh, timing.
That was really cool about the last. What was the last bad map we did?
Blitz.
It was also Blitz. It was
also called
quite
Blitz.
It was
Okay.
really different back then.
Yeah, I didn't think it was the same map. I guess it isn't really. It was a different name. But like that was Like that was one thing that map did really, really well. It just didn't quite get the spacing and the proportion quite right.
I disagree with that. I felt like the original Blitz was actually really, really solid. I would have put that in the top maps.
Yeah, but you also said that Dell is like a modern Velocity.
That's not really relevant.
Alright.
I have to just like air my like agreement with like the bomb through the portal. It's just horrific.
I like the concept of like what I think he was going there. Like if you go through the portal, then you would hit the button and it would take you down and you'd bounce to the flag or whatever. It just doesn't really work.
Kind of like the danger zone thing, but except it doesn't work. Like
maybe there could be a gate over that portal instead of the button bomb to like make it an interesting feature. Also, I wanted to say that this button bomb in mid completely sucks because
it's really bad.
Yeah.
Like it ruins any combo you can be able to do with the mid boosts basically just by throwing it into you, and it feels just very awkward to use in any kind of way.
Yeah, I didn't have anything to say. I just said
Wow, classic Moosin. God.
Oh boy.
Do you guys think that the boost right outside of base could be like camped by a regrab? Like as soon as they pick up the like on boom backs type thing?
Yeah, it's gonna make resets a little bit difficult, I think.
But have we seen that in play? Like resets being difficult? Not really.
I think base itself might be a little frustrating for offense because the one boost that's there is on a 45 like all the boosts are in this map, so it makes coming at the flag a little bit weird. It's not really hard to hit or anything, it's just kind of weird. And then the only other thing is the bomb, which I'm not even sure you can take to the flag because I haven't tried that yet.
Not just the boosts, but the shape of the map as a whole, particularly in mid, is like really easy to contain as a defender. Like even with the juke juice I had before, not this one, but like just a minute ago, I guess. Like I had the flag and I couldn't make it through mid, past one of the lanes, past one defender.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
like,
you do have the bombs there and stuff to use to like try and make a gap. I think there's enough as an offender, but yeah, there might be slight issues with mid chokiness.
It doesn't seem like it'll be very fun to defend, I think.
Why not?
I don't know. I just
just like I was saying with how there was not a lot of elements in the base where there's the boost. Like I would clear the boost when it comes up, and I would clear the bomb when it comes up, and then if you can manage to do that, then it's like just a circle with two exits. I don't think it's a terrible base or anything. I just think that my main complaint would be that it's probably not that interesting on defense.
So there's like a lack of depth in the base elements for offense and defense.
I think the entire map really, not just defense. Oh, the
Well,
base.
yeah, that's the point.
I think if we're going outside established defense and offense, it seems really fun to chase on and get resets on.
If you have a chasing partner, but chasing by yourself kind of sucks because they can just run around mid 100 times.
Isn't that pretty much every map?
I don't think you can do that actually. Well, I mean, you can sort of like camp, like just stay behind a wall, but not like run around, because like the mid has those boosts, which you can just kind of close off a lot of options for an FC.
I'm sorry, did somebody just say chasing partner? We're talking about pubs, right? Just checking.
Get another shit meme from Tub.
That's gonna be 10 down votes for you, Tub. Right
Sorry
there.
to backtrack a bit, but why did you guys hate the button bombs again?
I think the ones in base are okay. It's the ones on the outside wall that just don't make any sense to me.
I mean the ones in mid. Why do you guys hate those ones so much?
They're really unintuitive.
And
I
they
just
don't
don't know
really
how to
help
explain
you
it.
a lot. Like you hit the button and you get like a stupid little boost like that, but not like in a way that feels good or feels like it aids you, really.
And most of the routes, well not most, but I would say at least like half the routes that you want to take are also just like directly conflicting with that. Like you're going to try and take a boost route onto the wall and then hit the button and going to be just totally stop dead.
So, sort of an overall comment I had was that some of the ways that you can use the boosts that looked really cool weren't actually something that you'd ever end up doing. Like, some of the boosts, despite having a couple ways you can take them, you probably would just, like, take them to, like, straight toward the other base or something.
Wait, could you repeat that again, Snack?
So, I was saying there's, like, multiple uses for a lot of the boosts. Like, think of the ones in the little mid area where you can take them through the middle or you can take them sort of off the sides of those wall shapes. I think most of the time you're just going to go base to base, and so it's not going to really play with as much variety as I think it wants to have.
Yeah,
I think
could see that.
I think the mid boosts could use some work. I felt like there were some ways that you could use them to combo with each other in interesting ways, but like more could be unlocked out of those.
Thanks, Matt. Still got 8 to go.
Do we actually have people that are watching this?
25.
Oh,
25?
Oh shit.
Wow.
Holy cow,
Goddamn.
guys.
Hi, Mom.
we're in
Skinny
the big
Pablo.
leagues.
Skinny Pablo is as diff, by the way. Twitch chat. I was mentioning that. MTC is 8 members. That's right. It's Devil, Fly, Moosin, myself, Snack, the Epic Ghost, Under the Ball, and
People
PK
are
Soul.
thirsty.
PK's running for president right now. That's why he's not here.
Is he Trump or which one is he?
Doesn't matter.
Wow, you suck at memeing.
I'm trying to like facilitate the memes, you know.
Everybody look at
Alright.
this subpar memer over here.
Subpar means good. I don't know where you get that from.
What?
It means
Subpar
less
means
than
good.
Okay. Wait, that's actually a meme, right?
Okay,
That's actually like
hold
a
on,
good
hold
meme
on.
that you made.
In
So
golf,
shut up for a second.
like-
You know that in golfing, you want to score lower than par.
Yeah,
in golf,
you
therefore
wanna be-
subpar is good.
No, that's not how
Subpar is
that works.
good. Yes.
That's not how it works. Like, okay, so in golf, yes, like you want to be below par, but when you refer to something as subpar, it means like below average.
I know that. I'm just agreeing with him that if you're talking like strictly literally,
This is tech, bro. This isn't fucking golf.
it could be.
What?
Where do you think the word par comes from? Wait,
Because
it's
golf
used
is an
because-
old man's sport.
Okay,
There's
so
a
that's
left
where the
arm,
word
there's an
par
odd-
Get a
comes
par.
from.
pa like grandpa, like pa, like
Why are we discussing this again?
Because they're
Twitch
trying to be
chat.
funny
I don't know.
because
I
they have.
fucking love Twitch chat.
Okay,
think
so yeah, I'm gonna stick a pin in that and say that to everyone's joy and really bad surprise in 5 seconds, we're gonna be testing market.
This is not so. Oh shit! I wrote.
It's
don't
literally
imagine-
called market as the map as well. So
I
I'm not lying.
don't imagine I'm gonna mark it very highly.
God, that's a pretty solid meme though, guys.
Bias. Oh my god.
Overused meme.
Like the way. Okay, so here's the thing. Like the way that Sizzle
Hey,
does
this is
his
the first
memes.
time we're doing it in Twitch chat.
Hey, we have an official update from VPK Subal. He says he was taking finals.
Like school's more important than tech, bro.
Oh my god.
What were you saying? You were complimenting me, sorry.
Yeah, I was
Can you go back to
complimenting you. I was gonna say like the way that you like phrase your memes is like that you're. It shows that you're like very aware that they're memes. Like Tubbs' problem is like he doesn't even know when he's memeing sometimes.
Can we return to the map now
I
that we are
suppose.
mapping?
Yeah, no, it's Bully's map. I don't give a shit. You're aware of Australian shit posting, yeah?
Yeah, and drop airs. I know
Fucking
about all the
Australians.
Alright, so
Biggest shit posters.
this map hasn't changed a lot since before, and now I mean the biggest difference is this top with the sort of gatekeeper-esque bombs. I don't think that the bombs will actually be there that often, because when you take the team boost out, you usually hit the button,
Yeah, I
and
noticed that.
so top isn't gonna be much less safe. So I think I like this
Sizzle, what
version
the
less.
Says I gave you like 5 good seconds to cap
250
to.
ping. 250 ping. I actually I like that new top. I don't really know. It's definitely like the issue that I had with the last time was that it was, although it was polished, it was very basic. It was very boring. It was very formulaic. It was a lot like Citadel, but with the one good element that Emerald had, which was the gate. That it's a bit more of a dynamic part at the top, but as you said, if the bomb isn't going to be there most of the time, then it's just going to feel like really down to luck. Moving through there, like trying to chase someone or trying to get out through top, is going to be down to luck on whether you get through or whether you get the return. And that's not. I don't like that.
I think that could be improved pretty like easily with a better button placement, though.
It's a very high traffic area at the moment, which is probably why it's not there very often.
My issue with this is like the whole mid is just so boosty. It feels like there isn't a mid. It's just a place to boost through.
Yeah, it's kind of like a highway you're just passing through.
Yeah, just passing by.
I don't think it's like a problem in itself, but I'm noticing like there's a lot of traffic all the way, so it's really easy to kind of just unfortunately bump into a teammate and kill them. Because like the boosts are generally like you don't see mid when you're taking them, not completely. So
yeah.
After my 2-minute hold. Irrelevant.
That's devil there. You didn't even bother going for the bomb, like just under the assumption that it probably wouldn't have even been there, and just went for the return instead. I don't know if that's a conscious decision.
Well, my thought there was basically just like if I'm going for the bomb, I'm gonna be behind if I mess it up. But if I can go for you, I can still be ahead of you.
So other than that top, I mean, it took out the gravity well, and that was the only change it made. Probably for the best as well.
So one cool thing that I found is if you take the team boost up through top, it then rolls you to the other boost, which then takes you into base. So it's like a quick way to get ahead, but it's at the risk of having to go through both gates. Yeah, that's that whole comment.
Go ahead, Moosin. Go ahead.
Okay.
Gonna be little standoffs.
I honestly don't feel like testing this much more. I don't think there's anything else to learn. Do you guys feel like you want to keep testing?
It's a bit and a half.
Fun.
Might as well finish it.
Oh god, that was so close.
I know I was the biggest proponent of this before, or at least I was one of them, but I think with the new changes in top, like, it's just gonna make the bombs irrelevant most of the time, so... Yeah.
So I haven't really said much about it, like, but basically my opinion on this map, and I wasn't a huge fan of it the first time through, but I think the changes are better. I just still don't think that this has like a lot of staying power as a map.
Yep. Effectively. That was my
That's a good way of phrasing it.
issue with it last top maps, and it hasn't gone anywhere since, so there's no point.
I think it's a step in the right. I think it's fair to say it hasn't gone anywhere. I think it's a step in the right direction, but it's definitely not hitting the mark right yet. I wouldn't say.
Still subpar, you would say.
Nah, man, it's above par, of course, because that means it's bad, right?
I mean, it does.
Doesn't.
No, the last map was bad. This is Bali.
Subtle snack, I like.
Right line snack.
3, 2, 1.
Cap flag.
Food for your thought. Something to snack on.
Oh my god.
I don't know. It's pretty fun to carry the flag on. It's not like difficult in any way. It's like a nice map, but I think we're gonna get more interesting maps this thread, so it's not gonna go anywhere.
And I do
But
think
like objectively better than average this.
I think
I mean,
in
like, yeah, it is balanced. Like, I mean, it's a very similar thing with the very first map test at Dawn. It's a perfectly balanced map, and sure, it's polished, but it's just not what we need to put in rotation right now. This doesn't break convention or do anything spectacular in any way, and I think that's what we should be trying to look for in new rotation maps.
And I have the exact leader map that fulfills all those criteria.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
yeah.
I'm so excited.
No, please.
Here we
Save
go.
me.
I like how probably everyone in Twitch thinks we're talking about market, but we're not.
Oh, this is better than market. This is so much better than market.
I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, this is so much better than market. I would go that far.
Alright, this is probably a map that's better to spec than play, but I still want to test it just because it does things very differently than anything else we've seen before.
I mean, no,
And
just-
the name should tip you off. It's called Tactical Nuke, so...
It's just so bad.
I think the funniest part is Market was one of the lowest rated maps this thread. Like,
It wasn't really.
That's so fun.
Who did I kill? Guys, who did I kill?
Me, you got me.
Yeah.
Imagine this being able to communicate using that nuke. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's something I mentioned actually in my comment is like I feel like this map like kind of has competitive potential too because you on top of having to communicate like power up timers and bombs and stuff like that, you also have to include like tactical nuke is
It's
up,
happening. It's happening, guys.
And it's every
No, it's
60
not.
seconds. It can be timed because
not.
every 60, isn't it?
Yeah,
No,
it's
you
every
have to wait
60
for the
seconds.
you have to wait for the portal.
The portal's every 60
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Bombs are every
okay.
30 seconds, but the portal's every 60
that
seconds.
sucks.
You can time that. And
Portal
like,
should be more often.
Why are we
Even
fighting
looking-
over this?
Everyone just fight over.
It's gonna happen no matter what.
even looking outside of the tactical nuke area, and this is like perhaps something this might have been something that Market failed in, was that even if you look outside the tactical nuke aspect of the gimmick of the map, it's actually a pretty solid map, really.
Is it?
Yeah,
that's
it's
debatable.
quite polished, I think.
Mid is just literally 4 layers on top of each
Yeah.
other. It's not well made.
I wouldn't say it's polished, but I think it's solid. I mean,
the base is
I don't
pretty
think
good.
mid would suffer if you cut off one of the lanes. Basically. But
okay,
outside of that, I like it.
let's be honest. We would not be
Oh,
testing
God.
it if not for the bombs everywhere.
It'd be cool if the tactical nuke was like in the middle, just had 2 lanes around it. With the gravity wells of doom.
I don't understand how it works. Like going in the portal, it happens too fast that I can't tell what's going on.
It's just pointing you towards the walls, which are covered in buttons.
why the fuck are we not playing defense? God, guys.
Active doom.
I was waiting for the tactical nuke to come.
I'm not getting murdered by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nuke
If the bombs
54.
were a little bit more effective, I would love it even more. It is like it's so rare. Like it's only once time a minute, so like you kind of deserve to die, basically.
I think it would be better if like the bombs respawning corresponded better with. I mean, I know it would suck if it was over 40 seconds, but I think it would work better if it corresponded with bombs spawning, so you know exactly when to prepare for it.
Yeah,
Now
it's like a
like-
10-second countdown
Now
once
it's like
bombs
10
come up.
seconds. I don't know when
Alright.
it's happening.
Get this: you ditch the bombs, you make every floor tile a gate. That way, when you hit
Yes,
the
I was just thinking
Okay,
that.
that's
I was
even
just
better.
thinking
it
that.
kills everyone, but it doesn't kill your own team. It just kills the whole other team.
Okay, so unfortunately,
Oh, wow,
I
now
don't
we're
know if they
talking.
changed this, but I've actually made maps in the past that have every floor being a gate tile, and there's a limit to like the JSON file, so you can't like have a map of this size. Do
Okay,
it.
literally the first map I ever made was like that. Like 2 years
Well, you
ago.
could like alternate it too, like
Check.
Yeah, but it's still not enough. I think.
what's maps also math.
I think you like.
Even
Well,
shift,
it's like
shift
a-
was almost over the, like that minigame map. That was almost over the threshold for Jason size.
Yeah, I think you have like 400 tabs or something where you can make gates in the JSON.
So this map is going in rotation as is.
This map is
Definitely.
perfect. What do you guys talking about? Am I right?
I haven't seen anyone on the blue team for like 3 minutes.
Oh my god,
I'm just
my
gonna
lag
wait
is
by.
crazy.
I'm just gonna wait by the
No!
portal to get you. I'm not even gonna try to chase.
This map needs more spikes.
Yeah. It's too safe, really.
If
Yeah,
you're
I
on
agree.
re when that happens, it just like slightly throws you off.
Not often we say this, but to a map with like, what, 50 bombs or something, but it's too conservative.
But you made a
Boy,
good
I
point
can't
actually
wait
about
for the
re.
future.
Like, I feel like of all the things for the nuke to affect, like it should affect re, right? But
Yeah.
it really doesn't.
It does,
Hey,
it's just
the
like
cow.
so. It's such
Oh,
a little
yeah.
amount that it's laughable.
And do you need to test this one more as well? Queen.
I mean, if it means one more tactical nuke.
One more.
Alright. We got one. I think it's at like 30 or 40 or something. 40.
Yeah, get the last nuke in and then we can stop.
I don't know why you care about like 45 seconds of the map, and yet we spend like hours discussing the most inane shit.
Can you grab with the nuke? That's a good question,
Oh,
but
I'm
I
alive.
didn't position for it.
I'm sure you can.
I'm sure you can, because there's all the bombs in base.
It's not really hard to grab on this map, though. Like,
It would like spin you off of this and then into the bottom area.
Oh no! Oh no! Waiting out for the nuke.
There's not gonna be another nuke.
Alright, pub team's over.
Rip.
Yeah, I'm good on this. All the nukes are over. What's the point?
I want to know what Twitch chat was saying about this.
Bowtie tells us that he got lucky to raise the JSON limit on I guess file size, so should be
So
okay.
it might be able to do like the whole
Nice.
3, 2, 1.
Six maps. We're getting to the butt part of the map.
Actually, an above par meme from Tub in the spreadsheet there. So not bad.
oh, you don't even know the source of it either. Here, hold on.
I do. I
Do you?
assume it's about market.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh god.
I can link you later.
Okay.
Way too
So-
excited about that.
So how many hate threads are we gonna get based on us talking about market like that?
I don't care.
Oh.
As many as we'll get for the fact that we didn't test it this thread.
I'm sorry, it's just like not a good map. No, actually, I'm not sorry. Fuck. It's a bad map. No apologies needed.
Alright, next up is gonna be Episcope, which might remind some people of a goatee related
boy.
map of the
I've got
past.
some, I've got some preaching to do here, some ranting to do.
Oh god, yeah. Have
And
fun,
you
sis.
Yeah.
Um,
Time to mute
Sis.
yourself, Tag.
Sis,
Yeah.
didn't you nominate this map?
I did.
Okay. Why are you preaching then?
I nominated it because when I first saw the map, it was a different version of map to this, and it had a fuck ton of potential. I was on the committee when Holy See was removed. I think Dave was the only other one who was, and there were a lot of Holy See replicas. Whether it was people modifying the original version just to cut down on lanes or whatever, or if it was people creating a new one from scratch like this, with the same ideas and trying to refine them. None of them were good. They were all terrible. But Holy See was a great map. This one, when I saw it in the thread, it was a great homage to Holy See. Had all the right bits in all the right arrangements. But then there was this modification.
It's in all the right place. Sorry.
And then there was a great song. And then there was this modification, which I feel like it doesn't feel like Holy See anymore. And it reminded me, I was telling Tej as well before the meeting, was that it reminded me a lot of what Bad did when he updated Danger Zone 4, Danger Zone 3 to Danger Zone 4 was that, like, I think the reason that people really loved Danger Zone 3 wasn't for the fact that it was super balanced or offensive or the playstyle, but it was the fact that it had all these really cool elements that, you know, they weren't necessarily super cohesive or whatever, or they weren't particularly balanced, but just they put the elements there, and it was up to you as an offender or defender or whatever to use them in whatever way. And like that was why it was really fun. It was really cool to use that button bomb combination. It was really cool to use the super boost to get to the snipe. Like, it was just really cool. And Holy See is very similar in that regard. But when TC4 was updated, it kind of compromised in that aspect for the sake of trying to make the map balanced and fit in with today's meta. It didn't work. It just ended up being really boring with elements we're familiar with. And when this map, or when the previous version of this map was updated into what it is now, I guess they reminded me of that. Was that it doesn't really feel like I mean I really fell in love with that version of it was called Pavlova. Like, I really fell in love with that because it had everything that made Holy See really awesome, but in a very modern twist. And then this came out and it took away from that, and it compromised that for the sake of trying to make it, you know, more balanced in today's meta, and I don't like that. So I'm nominating it because I want to see it rebuilt based off the previous version. And I want to see a really good quality homage to Holy See in rotation, because there's absolutely potential for it here.
So, I also nominated this actually, and I think one of the things that I really like about this and this version specifically is the boost lane, or I guess the spike lane, the hand, whatever you want to call it, has several different ways you can go through it. It's sort of like the original, but obviously it's slightly less spiky. But like coming at it from the boosts in mid gives a couple new angles you can take it. Bouncing off of the wall tile up there gives you a new angle to take it. So I think it's like not just a watered down kind of thing. It's obviously there are fewer spikes there and it's easier to just go through, but I think it opens up some new possibilities as well. And adding the gates in mid stops it from being like 1 second to get regrab, which was one of my biggest complaints about Holy See.
I mean, it basically still is 1 second though. Like, I don't know, it feels like pretty easy to just run around those gates.
Yeah, well, you have to have somebody on that button for it to be blocking the path.
Yeah, I think you would keep somebody on the button.
You can still get pretty quickly to base just by boosting outside though.
I actually also just don't generally like the spike field. I think that has like a lot of room for improvement.
I think one thing I like about it is that it feels like it's fair on defense, which is something Holy See never did. Like, sure, you have like 2 or 3 maps or something, not 2 or 3 paths you can take for offense, so like you can't cover all of them, but you still have like a lot of ways where you can stop defense from getting to that position in the first place.
Even then, there was one really cool thing that you could do with defense on the original Holy See, which was the cell. Like having those showdowns, OFM type showdowns in the cell in the top mid, bottom mid.
Yeah.
And that doesn't exist anymore.
I mean, does that? I don't know. This is like an homage to it. It's not like an update, right?
Y'all are
well,
pronouncing
I
that so
think
wrong. Holy.
the cell in the original version was flawed for a number of reasons, and so I think to substitute that isn't a bad idea at all. But perhaps with what it has been substituted is not as I mean, there really isn't as much room for creativity or being inventive with this new section, really.
I think something that I noticed, at least in my solo testing, is like every corner that you hit in the spike tunnel ends like unfavorably for you. Like, so the boosts that you end up taking are mostly just very easy and almost to the point where they feel guided. Like
Isn't
if
that the point?
I don't know if I agree with that. I think there's quite a few ways you can take the boost that aren't really guided if you work with it a little bit, you know? I think there are things that you can learn about this map which is different from DZ4. Now I do also worry that it's going to be seen as like a watered down version of the Holy See, because in some ways it kind of is. And I don't want a repeat of DZ4, but I think this does some things right, and I think we shouldn't just like I don't know, I think we shouldn't ignore it.
What's the one thing in particular you said it did right relative in comparison to the original Holy See?
So I think mainly the fact that you can't go from one side to the other aspect, that you kind of still can. You know, you have to keep someone on the button if you don't want them going through. But I think that, as well as just being smaller, you know, all the running around that the original had it just made it impossible to reset. Now, I don't necessarily think we need a version of Holy See at all, but I think if we have one, then this is going in the right direction for sure.
I didn't know I needed one until I saw this, honestly. I'd forgotten about it.
Alright, any further thoughts on Episcope? Right. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
People not gonna vote on it? Okay, yeah, they're just coming in now.
Sorry, I just read Sizzle's rating. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so unless there's anything else, we'll move on to the next one, which is Prime, so I'll mute myself.
Just test more evil maps. I like this.
Test more MTC maps.
Okay, I nominated this one. I'm not sure if it's mainly the fact that we said it had loads of potential last thread, and then we all ignored it this thread, which I found really frustrating. And the other is just like, I still really like Bot. Still does lots of good things, and Top isn't that bad on this version.
I don't know. Is it the top? I mean, I really don't like this top.
So I voted. Oh, sorry. Keep going.
Yeah, that's just why I voted no, because of the top, not because of the bottom.
Yeah,
Is it really that bad? I don't know.
I voted yes for this. I don't mind this top. I don't think it's, you know, anything super interesting, but I think it's an improvement on the old one for sure. And the rest of the map is still pretty interesting. Maybe having a top lane that's not like crazy and filled with bombs is a good thing.
Yeah, top definitely does feel a lot safer, I'll give it that. I really don't like that top little aesthetic thing because it reminds me of Boombox too much. I feel like that's a significant problem.
Well, I think it looks bad, but I don't think it plays that bad.
The aesthetic doesn't play that bad.
I think it's too fast paced for me at the moment. Just the map overall.
I don't get that at all.
What?
If you stand this, like if you stand right here where I am, I've got 2, 3, 4 boosts, 3, 4 bombs, like from right here base.
Yeah, okay.
That's covering half the map. Like there's a lot of quick movement happening. And that doesn't do well to facilitate a lot of those individual mechanical plays, which I really like to see in maps.
I think
I,
in pubs it's perfectly fine for a map to be faster paced though. Like even at the expense of certain methodical moves that you would normally make in a competitive setting.
I do agree that like the amount around the base is probably too much. Maybe you could only have like one boost up top, or maybe just have 2 bombs. I mean, the bombs are kind of overkill, and that's the point of them. I get it, but maybe.
I don't have an issue with the bottom half of the map. It's just those 4 boosts in the top sector.
I also actually really like how the gates play into this version of the map. They seem to be used a lot and very tactically. I like to see.
Oh, fly.
I kind of agree with what Sizzle was saying about the boost. I don't think that this boost here does much except makes it more fast-paced. I don't think that being fast-paced is a bad thing, but on a map where we already have 8 bombs, then yeah, I can kind of see that being an issue. Top boosts, I don't really mind.
Bombing run had 8 bombs, and it was in a larger space, and it only had 2 boosts.
Was bombing on a larger space than this, really?
Yep, absolutely.
It was certainly like more wide open space.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that.
I'd say it had more floor space. I don't know, Moosin, you've got like that calculator thing, don't you?
Oh, I'm not gonna waste time on that right now.
Wow.
I'm trying to kick some ass here.
Alright then.
I'm not doing very well. I could check it like after the game.
Nah, I don't really care that much.
But yeah, bombing space percentage wise was like considerably more open than this.
I still don't like how you can't wall bounce from the top boost into the flag. That's still a small bit, but it adds to the clunkiness for me. And I think I've said that to Devil before, and he ignored me. So screw you, man.
Hey, no
Devil, no
typing.
talking.
I mean, maybe he can talk if I call him out. But
I think that's the point of not talking, so that we can call them out without them responding.
true.
You can respond to like an objective
Oh, shit.
question, like how long is the portal cooldown kind of stuff. There's no problem responding to that. There's no portals here, so you're out of luck.
If there was a portal, how long would the cooldown be? What are your thoughts on this gate? I personally don't mind it, but I thought I'd bring it up.
I think I like it a lot, and I talked about it before. I guess everyone was ignoring me.
I heard you. You said
I
choose
was.
tactically.
I was definitely.
Hey, MTC, please, can
What
you
was that?
boost me off of this button to the gate? Oh, it's too late.
Yeah, I've done it before.
Oh, you have?
Even with that top bomb. Oh, not the
Cool.
top bomb, but one of the I think the mid bomb. I got a snipe on someone else on one flag carrier.
That's dank.
Yeah, it felt really good actually. I didn't mean that as like, oh yeah, I'm so great, it felt good. No, it's just
Well, you're so great anyway, so
I mean,
you
the
don't,
bottom-
you don't have to say it for us to know it.
I know. The bottom, well, I do. The bottom half of the map. The bottom half of the map was never really the issue. It was just that top mid sector, and it's. I mean, I'm cool with voting it through the top maps because, again, like it's just. I think it's very clear what needs to be changed in the map in order for it to be rotation ready, but it's not there yet.
Every map needs a second chance. Hashtag vote yes to Prime.
Tell that to market.
Every map needs 8 bombs.
Tell that to tactical nuke.
With Birch, it needed like 8 chances.
not bombs.
There's at least one chance for every spike that was on the map, costing Lucky Spammer extra money to render on the server.
Alright, next up is gonna be Rorschach.
Huge throwback meme.
Yeah, does Tub even get that one?
Sorry, what?
No, he wasn't on for any of that.
For the whole Birch memes
Fiasco.
2,
of costing Lucky Spammer more money as
Extra,
a
yeah,
result of the
yeah,
extra
yeah.
spikes.
I
Okay.
was.
Well, Newcompt actually said that all the new maps have to be added to rotation. We have to get rid of that black border around the outside of the maps because apparently it actually does make some computers lag more. Not a random one, doesn't cost more money, but it does make it lag more. Like ever so slightly.
Yeah, that was a huge.
But
Dave
I don't
Rat
think
meme.
it matters
Oh, that's
much,
funny.
but they like to take the black borders out.
I did for the sake of symmetry a while ago. I liked the pup things here in this map. I was
Why?
worried that. I was worried when I first looked at the preview that you'd be able to. Well, like, you'd get stuck in there way too easily. But then when I actually solo tested it and grabbed a pup in there, like, you can. I mean, you have to actually corner yourself in order to get trapped by the bomb.
Okay.
But it
I don't-
might also have a problem that I really don't like in Command Center, where you defuse the bomb to get the pup and someone comes in and takes it off you. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, that is straight up thievery. People should be arrested for doing that.
Yeah. And being Australian, I have no tolerance for thieving of
I s-
British people.
I like don't
Exactly.
really have a problem with that because it means like you need to pick a fuck you tank get the yeah fuck you. But like you have to pick a strategic time to. Are you talking about teammates stealing it or opponents?
Anyone.
Okay, because like opponents I don't have a problem with. Teammates like fucking tag over here, like
Well.
that's a problem.
Fair enough. I
You never
get,
want
like,
your teammates to get power-ups.
Every teammate is like me, Musa.
I get it's always like you gotta find the right way to time it, but it's like 50% of the time trying to fight for that in Command Center, it just feels like a lose-lose situation. I don't know if that's gonna happen here. I think it's a lot easier to defuse this and get back into position and grab it than it was in Command Center.
Isn't the
Might not be
optimal
even an
position gonna be to like just take it vertically? So like
Yeah.
that's like an easy way to kind of camp it and get it for yourself.
You could take it just directly into the spike.
Yeah, just hope you respawn in time to get it.
Okay, so outside of the power up, why do people like this map? It seems very simplistic to me. A bit like Mode 7, but maybe even less interesting than that.
A blooperized Mode 7.
I will say I almost always hate gates like this where the gate's in the dead center and the only button's in the dead center, because usually that means that no one will ever use it. But I think the difference here is that the boost lanes, the natural boost lanes are through that gate, so you can sort of play mid at times, which it's interesting. Whether it's good or bad, it's interesting.
I guess the main worry about that is like if you're on the button, they can literally just boost above you in like a 10 tile space.
Yeah, but you have to just adjust a lot. Like if you're coming from the flag, and I think a lot of times you'll catch people off guard, especially if you have someone chasing from behind.
Oh yeah, because the top boost is only team boost. You're right. Yeah, you would be able to see them coming in that case.
No, I've just seen hundreds of gates like that before. Nothing about it seems that exceptional.
Well,
Pool
it
is-
looks like a wrench, so there's that.
There's been
It
at
looks
least
pretty
two
nice.
maps about wrenches before. Maybe
One is
three.
I
They were awesome.
There's a map this thread that had that wrench concept.
Yeah, by Mr. Glass, and there was one by Tub, an old school Tub map.
Not that we care about the author names for testing maps, I guess.
As
my God,
Just
move,
name a time
Evil.
and place. Okay, I'll let you have that.
Thank you.
I say
See how useful?
it kills you.
I should have taken it myself.
Oh shit.
Rip.
I just don't think we need another map like this in rotation. We already have Mode 7.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a solid map. I just don't. It's.
How do you think it compares
Yeah.
to Mode 7? Like, do you think it's like worse or just like the same?
Probably about the same.
I don't know how can you
It's hard
compare
to tell.
What was
It's
that
different. I don't think you can compare them. They're just different.
I mean, you can compare any map.
Well, not really, because both of them have two exits to base. There's a bomb in the middle. There's a bomb in base. There's just
The
lots of
playstyle absolutely
lots
is
of similarities.
I'm not finding that. Okay. This is much more open and more offensive friendly.
It's 2-1 right now, bro.
Yeah, but
Like,
it's
I'm
just
pretty
that-
sure Mode
Offensive
7
doesn't
counts a
necessarily
lot
mean more
more.
caps. Just means more flag being out of base.
Oh, okay, true. Yeah, I mean, it's like
Let me
Yeah, like I'm not
It's-
finding.
gamble that.
it's more offensive, but less. Like, at least when we tested Mode 7, we capped a lot more than we have in this one.
I'm not finding it hard to grab. Is what I'm saying. That's like the most important part of Mode 7.
It's also the biggest complaint is how defensive Mode 7 is. That I see anyway.
That's because chumps don't know how to grab with the bombs.
I've never felt like grabbing in Mode 7's been a big problem. It's like the challenge always seemed to like get out of base once you have the flag. Alright, see you after. Spin rail.
Did it.
Later.
Yeah, people watching on the stream, some of you can like jump into the waiting room or something and maybe we'll pull you up to help play with us.
Someone asked how long map test community members have been playing Tag before. Okay, how long have you guys been playing Tag before?
So I've played about 2.5 years, and I've been on the MTC 11 months.
It's my 2-year birthday tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah, I think I'm about 2 years too. I started playing summer 2014. And I've been
Yeah.
on the MTC 10 months, 9 months.
I'm actually the same as Tag, except for the time spent on the committee. My birthday is like June or July. My second birthday on Tag Pro, and then I've been on the MTC like 5 threads. I don't know, not long. 6 threads now. Balenka asks, do you think it would be helpful to have some members who haven't played as long? I guess it could potentially give a different perspective, but I think generally having more experience with maps, generally speaking, is a good thing when
I
you're
think
on the map testing committee.
We have enough shitty players that it's basically like having new ones. I can speak for like I am.
I mean, I'm just basically a sunball with my 250 ping trying to pick. But I
The
mean,
main
I
problem
figure you're
with-
probably more talking about like actual map knowledge and experience, like experience with map making and map analytics and shit like that, analysis. Which is important. I've been on the map test committee for 1.5 years, making maps pretty much since I started playing Tag 2.5 years ago. So like,
So one thing I sort of get is like, if we're on the map test committee for a while and we're testing like 100 maps to 150 maps each thread, like sometimes I think we get bored of concepts that other people aren't bored of because they haven't tested all those maps as much as we have. So I think that not necessarily getting in a new player, but maybe someone who hasn't been around all these like maps that never made rotation like we have, it can at least bring in somebody who maybe isn't biased against things that people keep trying.
I think the main problem with all of this is that, yeah, in addition to like everything we want in an MTC member, we need someone who's actually going to put in the work as well and reliably test the maps we ask them to test and give their opinions and ratings and stuff like that. which it's a lot to ask for.
Put your hands up if you want to commit 15 to 20 hours of work every thread.
Ooh, pick me.
Also, you have to be good at maps.
Did we get someone to help us?
Yeah.
Ishi is in.
Oh, okay.
Hey, it's the
Wait,
get
is-
juked
oh, right,
guy. Haha, nice meme.
Oh my god.
That's like the only time I've ever heard of Ishii. So yeah.
It's the Dismal Tender Kid himself.
Alright, next up is yeah. Monaco.
Monaco, or what did you call it?
I just do it like the neckbird way. Monaco. Like Milady, except Monaco.
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 Monoculus.
Would you like to test this map with me, Monaco?
Neck myself right now having to test Bowtie's map.
Oh no. It's like
I still don't understand why you didn't nominate the one with the trampoline.
Too inconsistent.
So bad.
Bowtie tested that one with me a lot. He wanted to show that off to me, but it was very inconsistent. It only worked like 50, if 50% of the time. If it works more than that, I'd love that. I would have picked that easy. If it worked very consistently, I would, but it just didn't.
Yeah, I tested it a bit as well, and just sort of the same comment. Just wanted to agree with that.
Wish I heard.
I
that
like
more
the
often.
effort for the trampoline though. It's kind of creative in a cool way.
yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't know if it was gonna work or not.
Oops, I bet.
What? Oh, the bomb. Okay.
One thing that I wanted to point out was that I think that the bomb in that lower area of the spike field below the bases is kind of overkill bomb-wise, because otherwise you just have kind of a ridiculous amount of bombs going off throughout base. For me,
I'm just not a fan of like the bombs and the spike in a base. Makes it really like uncomfortable both to attack and defend.
I actually don't mind it as much now that the button is gone.
The
I
button
think
was definitely a huge problem.
I'm seeing so many people just like try to take that bomb though, and then just smack into a spike.
I swear, if I had better ping, I wouldn't be an issue.
Got him.
I don't know. I still think it's a pretty cool base design, and I honestly don't think it's that chaotic anymore. And you can slow yourself down on that square quite a lot. You just have to position yourself.
Jesus
Whoa.
Christ.
I honestly still don't really know how I feel about it. Like,
Saved your life.
I think that there needs to have more wall squares along this bottom area. Otherwise, like, those boosts from the top path are basically impossible.
you can actually, if you line up those team boosts and you connect those two. So if you go from the center of the blue team boost to the center of the red team boost, for example, on this side, then that'll take you into the middle of the island. I don't have an issue with that. I think like the issue that I have with the map is that I don't feel like it offers a lot new. It's got a lot of its own character and it's very polished, but it being difficult at the moment is, or competitive oriented or whatever, is like the most that it really offers at the moment. And if you start to baby proof it a little bit, then it loses that.
I think with all the boosts headed towards mid, I've just noted a pretty fair amount of people just running into each other all the time, which can get a little annoying. That's my biggest comment about the map right now. It's definitely a huge improvement from the version we saw last thread. But one thing I really like about this map is when you take the lower neutral boost off the wall into the other neutral boost towards the flag. It's a cool chain that you can do.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. I love boost combos. So many people are going to spike themselves when they're trying to hit a bomb in base. Hilarious.
It's already been happening.
Yeah.
I think people will get better about that, but maybe not.
Well, it's not like we've got any new players for the past 14 months.
So I think
I mean,
the annoying.
That's not a reason to just stop trying to appeal to new players. If anything,
Well-
it's more reason.
It was less of a joke, but never mind. Don't worry. It's okay.
I don't really
Apparently
think
you're
that
the-
anything
God.
that the MTC can do can entice new players, to be honest.
No, I disagree.
No, I didn't mean to. I didn't think that. I didn't mean to start a discussion. I just wanted to make a funny haha, but no one laughed.
That's like classic tub move.
Classic me.
It was too complicated to be funny.
Yeah, you prefer the simpler things, don't you?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna say something. I don't know if this point has been like brought up. I know that we talked about the bottom a little bit, but like, I don't think it would be a problem being just 3 tiles of floor space if you could actually see that floor space when you're boosting.
Yeah.
But it's blind and it's super frustrating.
And I think that's why he lined up the boosts like that. I think
You have a reference point.
he intentionally made it so that you can like line the boosts up and know where you'll land.
I think he's just add 2 more wall tiles to each side of it just to make it slightly easier. At the moment, it's just a bit too hard. Maybe in a competitive version, he can.
Well,
he can keep it at 3.
Actually, 1.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it was 1.
Alright, last butt shape maps.
Are we gonna do like the next row of nominations, by the way?
I don't,
Why don't we
think
finish?
one of my nominations even like my top 2 nominations were like both in the sorted column.
Hmm.
So then I don't even know if our format requires us then to test the 3rd, or if that's just like a thing that we can do.
That's something we kind of have been tiptoeing around, like, because we just kind of like done the top 2 rows, because it generally, like, there's a lot of overlap, so some don't get like their maps, but they're like in the top maps, but it, like...
Yo, Sizzle and Snack, you guys like not AFK?
Not what?
Guys were both AFK.
I wasn't aware we had started.
Either.
All hence me saying
Thanks for
something.
letting me know.
Alright.
Hey,
this
Sizzle
is a
Snack,
pressure,
we
by the
started the
way.
game, by the way. It's easy way to phrase it. Anyway,
I mean, I'm quitting MTC because of you. What do you want me to say?
I want you to like pretend like you care.
I do care.
this button's not connected. Oh, is it? Are they
Backwards.
controlling the
It's the
opposite?
wrong way around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're.
they're opposite.
Yeah, it's the opposite.
Well, it's not the wrong way around. It's intentional.
Fly, I thought you said you were queen of the MTC, and I was kind of confused.
I mean, the absence of other females kind of makes it seem true, you know?
No one's fighting you for the throne.
Uh,
Oh, nice. I kind of like that top
that's
gate area. What do you guys
why
think?
I like this map. I think it's interesting.
Seems just really holdy. Just easy
Yeah.
to hold as an FC, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Just really
But
lazily.
I do like the top
How
gate
else
area, though.
would you hold?
Nice one.
Desperately? I don't know.
It's like dealer with Snack, you're just like straight going. straight lines. I think that's not really casually or whatever you. That was more like frantic, like I'm about to get evicted. Ooh, my bad.
So the joke was that he said, like, to hold as FC, and FC is the only person who holds. Anyway.
Thank you,
Oh.
Snack.
I didn't realize it was an English lesson.
Did I say to hold as an FC?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Back to the map. Yeah, I think the mid gate is what's most interesting about this. I think the side areas seem a bit tall for me, if that makes sense, which contributes to that aspect of the FC being able to hold. So yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of the top sides, I guess, but the middle's pretty interesting, and the base is fine.
That gate in the base is like it feels really arbitrarily placed. It's like
I think honestly it's just to like make up, because if you didn't have it, it would just be wide of. You could have like a hollow island or anything there.
right, but that's still arbitrary.
I mean, all of the boosts go through that area. So like, if you want to boost out of the base straight, then you have to go through the gate area. But it's very easy to avoid in most circumstances.
I hit a key on the keyboard. Sorry. So I feel like I actually I like the layout of mid. I just feel like bottom lane especially is not tight enough through mid. Like, I don't know, because that adds a lot of height to the map. Or I suppose you could. Well, not really. Never mind.
I don't think that the mid bombs are very fluent. Like, I don't think I ever really used them to any effect that I wanted.
I think it would it make more sense for me if they were just connected the way they are in Wormy. And I don't think that's a huge deal, but I think they're actually less flexible the way they're set up now.
I can't see how they would be useful if they were linked that way though, because you know they just take you to the spike.
Not always.
Yeah, but I don't think that they are useful now. So
Yeah, I think the bottom button and the upper bomb can be useful to move horizontally, but top one is kind of stupid. I don't know, it doesn't really do anything. And I'd rather have both buttons be mostly useful than one be pretty useful and the other be useless.
I think someone said this map was chasing in the beginning, but I'm not sure if I feel that. Like, it definitely gives you an opportunity to hold the flag very well, but it feels fair for defense in terms of resetting and just containing.
I don't think it's super chasey. I just don't think it's super fun to chase on. It's
I agree.
really, really repetitive. I'm noticing at the moment. Holding the flag, you're given a lot of options and a lot of tools with that. That can be pretty fun, but as far as chasing, it's very ones and zeros.
yeah, nothing's really standing out to me right now. That's like good element.
Fly, did you nominate this?
Yeah.
Was it because of the top part mostly? that what you
I
said?
don't know, like the base bombs. I just want to see if the alternate would actually work in a game, because solo testing you can't really tell.
Right.
Like, it was fun to fuck around with in solo testing, but they're not really ever up when you're going through it that way. So I don't think it lived up quite to what I wanted, but I don't think it's a terrible map. It's just not like a...
Any closing thoughts on the map?
I don't think it was particularly memorable or I don't know.
Do you remember playing on it?
We tested it already? I don't know. It's just not, in my opinion at least, not there's like not a whole lot about it to talk about.
Reminds me of whatever the Evil's map is called, Prime. No, I'm serious. Like they have like kind of
I
very
suppose,
similar
yeah.
set.
No, I see that comparison. Maybe like the top left, top right parts. Like I guess the ears, for want of a better descriptor. But I think it's very different. I don't
Dale,
like
you
the Sealy
should,
as much as I like Prime.
You should steal that top gate part because people like that.
Totally.
That will
Actually not a
fix
bad
all
idea.
of Prime's problems.
If he does that,
Might
he just has
actually.
Fiend. Because he's got the checkerboard team tiles at the moment. If he adds those gates, it's just Fiend. You can't do that.
It actually was like that at one point.
Well, then get rid of the team tiles. Yeah, I think I liked it better when you had that
It
gate
wasn't
up
like
top.
that. It had some different buttons. The button wasn't in the middle, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay with just adding Fiend back.
No.
Ah, go away, Snack.
So you'd vote against adding Volt back, but Fiend, nah, that's fine. Let's add Fiend
I
back.
did not vote against adding Bolt back.
Okay, I don't remember who did. I remember I voted, and I don't remember the rest.
Alright, next up is Carnival.
Sorry, I remember we were streaming. Probably shouldn't have said. Yeah.
We need to give our viewers the honest truth. So I nominated this. It's been a little while since we tested it together, so I didn't remember particularly what had changed. But I think that the base still intrigues me. With the block position, I think you can get some cool like rebounds off of it, and I like the little area behind the flag that it makes. So I wasn't sure how mid would play out, but I think that the base is pretty interesting.
I'm pretty sure I saw someone comment that I didn't like the blocks and base specifically. Is that true? Does that ring a bell with anyone?
It wasn't me, but they
I
do
didn't
feel
write it,
slightly
but I kind of
randomly
agree.
placed.
I mean, I don't feel too strongly about them either way. I just think I don't know, the portals are kind of boring to me. That was my problem with the map last time, really, is they didn't really do that much. Because with zero cooldown, it's basically like another lane that isn't like, I don't know, entirely singular.
Yeah, they just seem very arbitrary to me.
Yeah, I don't mind the portals, but I don't really feel like they add much either.
Oh man, the evil with the jukes.
That's like 2013 jukes right there.
I buy it on jukes from any year, it doesn't matter. I don't discriminate.
Ah.
I still fall for the thing on Smirk where people go above the button, so
Oh yeah, that's thing. I feel like that move actually has had a resurgence the last couple of months.
because you don't expect it anymore, you know. I kind of agree with what people were saying about these portals, though. I'm not really sure that they add a whole lot. I don't know.
If anything, I would say they're like the kind of thing that a map maker would add to kind of like just differentiate the map in a way that gets it into rotation.
It's such a
If I'm
thirsty
cynical.
map maker move.
Well, you know, adding portals to a map is an automatic 0.15 to its map rating.
Exactly.
Just think
Actually
about
true.
it. Just think about it. All right.
Scorpio's case is more like a 0.5.
Oh my god,
Increase.
Scorpio's such a good map. The map maker is so on talent. We should get someone like that on the MemeTeeCee.
On
The
the
MemeTeeCee.
The MemeTeeCee.
I thought map breakers were bad on the MTC. I thought that was the new consensus.
No, we have bad players and bad mate makers.
Mate makers.
Mate makers.
We have bad map makers and bad meme makers. Hub is both.
I mean, obviously, that's why I'm thinking with portals at like minus 0.25 or something like that.
Well,
probably
yeah,
not
think
a
about
zero.
it if it didn't have portals.
Yeah, it would be like -2 or whatever.
Oh, oh my. Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
Just uninstall.
so yeah, I agree that the portals on this aren't great, but I still think the rest of the map has a pretty good layout and it could be pretty fun. Yeah, that's my take on it. I think that the bomb is way more balanced than when we tested it way long ago, and it just massacred everyone.
It's okay. It just seems a little linear to me.
Yeah.
Like, the bomb is probably the only dynamic element on this map.
I think I agree with that.
Yeah, it kind of feels really rigid right now.
Damn.
That's fair.
Oh, rip.
I like haven't gone through the portals intention like for any anything for. Like
You're
I'm not-
cutting out.
Like I feel like the portals, I haven't been using them because they don't really do anything for me.
The
Like, I
problem
haven't
is that
seen
they
it,
take you
felt like I
backwards a little
needed-
bit.
I know, but I haven't felt like I for any reason, you know.
Yeah, they're designed to like take you across to the other lane to boost you that just as well, but faster.
I think the only like viable use for them is if both flags are out and you're just like running around with the flag.
Well, that's inspiring.
Maybe waste time.
Snack, why do you have a 71 take points macro?
That wasn't a macro, I typed it out.
Oh man, how did I not
But-
get moose in there?
But why?
It's a reference to Grant, who types that all the damn time.
I know, but do you ever hang out with Grant?
No, I just think it's funny.
Oh, okay.
I was typing it a bunch when we played his team in minors this season.
Weird.
Like, I think if you watch the clip of Ball God boating the first time.
Okay, so is this the part where we say, are there any other maps that we want to test?
That's
I
the
think we
part
could
where I say
actually.
no.
Yeah, I think we can actually like do like the traditional thing now, since we haven't tested like 20 maps. Like if someone feels strongly about a map we haven't tested yet.
We've already got
now-
2 maps secured to top maps. Can we? Yeah, let's just vote on the maps. If Bally
Okay.
wants to not stream, we can vote on the maps for top maps. And
Well,
if
I would-
you
I
feel
still
like-
want to hear if some members. feel
Yeah, I'd like to
strongly about the map.
continue if no one is opposed.
I don't want to.
Can I ask
Personally,
why?
really-
Well, can we hear the map at least and then see if we
I
disagree?
mean,
Yeah.
That's so
I-
corrupt.
Don't want to for kind of personal reasons. I have been awake for 22 hours.
I mean,
know
we
that
can.
it's like
I guess if you could leave your votes in if you needed to, but I would like to test
Okay.
the like market, but sin, not actually market, but it was called market.
the neutral flag one.
I want to test trepidation. If we're doing, I don't really care. I can go either way. I'm kind of.
And
I think you do care a lot, Fly. Actually, I don't remember, but I think you do care.
Okay.
and
I mean, like I just. I think
Which neutral? How does it look? The send map we're testing.
You can look at my nominations page. It's the 5th. It's
Yeah, let's see.
that one, 29048.
Oh my god, this just keeps breaking.
But like Sizzle, if you do need to go to sleep, if you
Yeah,
wanted to
I'm
just
putting
leave your
in my
votes,
votes.
okay, then we can grab someone else too.
I could also go either way on M open brackets, EAM close brackets, ARKit.
Okay.
Was there another thing we needed to? Something else we needed to vote on?
No, we'll do it next time.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, we can leave out like the major decisions. Like I think one thing we can vote on, and we can like just wait for you to vote tomorrow or something, is like the throwback thing, because I think we've discussed that enough. But
We're still on stream, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, they know
We're not
what
really
it's
giving
about.
anything away.
Fair
But
enough.
yeah, the other things we can just wait with till we test top maps anyway. Yeah, we'll just test those maps, and yeah, that's about it. So, all right, let's see. So,
Holy shit, my internet's freaking out.
Also, Bolly, if I type something in Mumble Chat, will that come up on the stream?
No.
Alright, cool. Is that someone's heartbeat?
It's a strong ass heart.
And T-Pool's very passionate.
Is there anyone still in the Twitch chat?
we have like 16 viewers, so we have like at least probably 15 people who's been watching this whole thing.
We're losing people.
People, read the Mumble chat and respond to that. It's not on stream, which is why we're typing it.
Alright, let's see. Yeah, if anyone has an issue with that, can I just like type yes in the chat? Yeah, so we yeah. I don't know, we can just like have a vote on that, as well as like the throwback thing, and just like, yeah, we'll do a vote on it, and then like discuss the results of the votes for that or whatever, or implementation.
Okay, do you want me to do that when I wake up?
Yeah, like, yeah, you don't like, we'll just like do a vote for it initially, and then like discuss it when we meet next time, not like discuss it now. So like we just know where we stand.
Ah, fair enough. Alright, cheers for testing. See you guys.
Let's see.
See you, sis.
Good night, sis.
Alright, so first up
3 p.m.
was Market. Yeah. Did Fly have a map she wanted to test?
Trepidation.
Trepidation.
And
And I think Tag had one as well.
Not really.
Okay.
Like,
Any other maps anyone feels strongly about now? Now's the time to speak. Forever hold your peace.
I would like to say, I'll just bring it up in case anyone else was interested in it. I don't feel like I have to test it, but there was a map by, shoot, hold on. I think it was
does it matter
Aloha.
whose it's by?
No, it doesn't. But Primeval or I don't even know how to pronounce that word.
Primeval.
Yeah, it had really long lanes outside of base, and I actually thought that was really cool. It felt really engaging to defend, and felt like a really high skill kind of thing. I don't know. That was cool. Did anyone else feel strongly about that map, or not so much? It's if you want to look at it, it's on my 3rd slot in my nominations.
With that one, I thought that the spike field was cool, but it needed a lot more work in the outside lanes and in mids. I don't think it's ready yet, basically.
Okay, that's fair.
I was willing to test it. I just thought it looked a little plain, but I mean, I was either a yes or a maybe for it, so I'd be willing if you want to.
I guess we can test the 2 or 3 that we have right now, and then if you guys are still up for it, we could test it. If not, that's fine.
Yeah, I think in general it just lacked polish.
Okay. Polish.
Let's see. Yeah, we only have 2 maps, unless I missed a map.
Yeah.
Ultralight meme.
Wait, who nominated that?
Snack.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay.
Why didn't you say me?
What do you? You said like.
Maybe I
not
assume
really.
he doesn't know what my voice sounds like.
Everyone knows what your voice sounds like.
Damn it. I don't want to be recognizable.
It's too late.
It's more like the sound of your mic than your actual voice, I guess.
That I can handle. I'm okay with that.
Dave, is it okay if I add one later on, depending on how tired and everything everybody is?
Yeah, sure.
I don't care. I am probably willing to keep testing for a while.
Alright. Next up is gonna be Market or Sin or whatever. Oh yeah, we need people.
Yeah, I've
So
got
we
Balenka
lost.
in here, but I just need to give him the link.
This is probably really interesting for whoever's watching the stream.
I just got
left the
kicked.
group.
I just got kicked. Yep.
No, you just left.
No, oh, did I?
Wow, way to be dramatic about it.
No, I'm pretty sure I got kicked.
I mean, the only way
mean,
to get kicked from a group is to get banned from it, and you won't be able to rejoin it.
As in, like, I lagged out of the group.
That's not the same as
like
getting kicked.
someone got rid of me.
That's called lagging out.
Yeah,
not
just say
getting
I lagged
kicked.
out.
Alright.
They lag out of the group in form of being kicked.
So how many people do you think have watched this whole stream?
I was kicked out
At
by the
least 10
lag.
people.
Okay.
Probably like 13 or 14.
Holy cow. Guys, you think they're gonna run like a news story about us?
Shout out to all of the Teg fans out there. Love you guys.
This will allow them to truly pick their favorite member.
Okay, so I'll just do the norm right now and tell you why I wanted to nominate this one. Thought it was super cool and dynamic and very different from any neutral flag that's currently in. I really like how the portals interact in the bases. My main concern, I think, was I felt like that bomb on the backside of bases is like really overpowered, and I feel like, holy shit, what? I also feel like power-ups could potentially be overpowered.
I think my main concerns with the map is that there's a lot of blind portals, which is really hard to cover for an FC. And the second one is like the exit portal in base is just annoying to get through, really.
This end zone
Sick,
feels
dude.
like a rocket balls a bit. It's just like very chaotic and lots of handoffs happening like that, and it ends up being very easy to cap in.
Totally agreed.
I think this needs to return to its roots, and what I mean by that is that it's gotten really complicated in terms of adding gates and more team boosts and bombs and walls blocking the portals. I think it's just like too much to take in and still be a fun neutral flag map.
Also, I really
Yeah.
like the exit portal, as I mean, like where you go in after you cap, because it's just
I just don't
very
find
hard.
that enjoyable at all. Like,
Wait.
especially like if you want to get back to base, it's just like, oh, I gotta kind of creak in between like these 2 blocks.
Did you say you do like that tag or you don't?
No, I don't.
I don't mind it actually. It's like because it slows you down a little bit. So,
It moves.
but I guess that's a problem for an already offensive
It gives
map.
too much power to regrab, I feel.
It moves too quickly so that when you're like spawning back in base, they're already capping. There's so much speed that like even when you die, like if you're the FC, the other team's like kind of like even on their side still or near mid, like they'll be capping before you get back, which is really frustrating. Like you
Yeah.
can't even like make a save, like and it's not even like something that you
I
like
mean,
on most
yeah. Go ahead.
like on most maps, if you die like carrying the flag and you're like pushing it, you'll like spawn in time to like probably get the flag back. Like you're just gonna be cap, right? Yeah.
That gate, by the way, gives like no advantage to the defense. Basically, I just went through it behind Sanak, and he's still capped.
I mean, I
Quite
guess
annoying.
it's better than if it was a blue team gate, but
I
that's about it.
I would prefer it to just be a wall, just for the reason I was saying earlier.
that bomb is just so bad. Like, how can you even defend against that?
The one directly below the base?
Yeah.
Or-
Like, a lot of the time there's going to be like a million people inside the base when that bomb is relevant, so like there's no way to predict what's going to happen, really.
Which portal am I going to go through? Over this one?
I was a fan of this map like a year and change ago
back
when it
through.
was, I think this actually made top maps twice, but I don't think it's moving in the right direction. I think it's kind of a clusterfuck in terms of elements.
Wasn't this like the one that Choxy really liked?
I'm not
Wow, throwback.
It was-
sure. R.I.P. Choxy.
Die, bitch, die.
I mean, regrab does feel super powerful. I mean, you just capped there, didn't you? There you go. And then, I mean, it's really easy to get on a chain. And 9 caps in 4 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, it needs to be a lot slower.
Yeah, I
Oh
think
my
I
God,
agree.
dude.
Worth
Nowhere
it.
near crescendo. Crescendo ended like 18-5.
I had like 7 caps. That's when you know something's broken.
I mean, I can say as much. It's not as bad as Crescendo.
Whoops.
What's with all these maps and the one tile gap in the gate?
Because it's trendy.
I don't know if this is really a map where you want people trying to get a pixel perfect through the gate.
No,
But-
it's like the worst idea ever.
I don't know if this is really a map.
It's an experience, actually.
It's just a collection of boosts and bombs.
It
Is that
literally is.
TKism?
A collection
No,
of
that's
walls
the
and
evil
spikes.
lesson, actually.
It was walls and
Except-
spikes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
something
was-
like that.
Yeah, walls and spikes. Or spikes and boosts, one of
I
those.
think it was boosts and spikes.
It can be anything, really.
I'm not
It
going to say
applies.
which map I was describing that by, but you can guess for the streamers.
I don't even
I wonder if you.
That was like
I
for
mean,
sure before
that's
market.
a replay right there, like bombing through like the gates into the zone.
I really only nominated this for replay moments.
Fair enough. Did anyone else feel like those portals were more of a hindrance than helpful? I felt like when I went through them, like that wasn't what I meant to do.
Yeah, truthfully, I was noticing that too a little bit. It was much more noticeable in a 4v4 when.
Either you cut out or my internet died.
I think he cut out.
Who,
Okay.
me?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just saying, you can hear me now, right?
Yeah.
No.
I was just saying that I agree that I noticed that the portals were not like as useful as I wanted them to be, because in a 4v4 it's a lot more noticeable. Like you don't necessarily have the time to be as deliberate as you would want to be.
You're kind of ending on an inflection where I expect you to say something more.
No, that's the inflection that I end on when I'm kind of like on the fence about what I'm saying. I'm not 100%
You just want
convinced
someone
of it.
else to pick up what you're
Yeah,
saying and
I
like,
wanna
yeah,
be
he's totally
validated.
right.
Exactly.
Completely agree.
Exactly.
It's okay then, speak.
Oh yeah.
So every
You're right.
map
Totally, yeah.
every map I've ever made is like incredible.
No one's saying anything, by the way, in case you were wondering.
You ruined
You,
the
you didn't
pause.
lag out, Moosen. I just wanted him to know.
You didn't lag out. You're just not funny.
That wasn't funny. That was true.
Try to get some
Alright,
2 a.m. people.
Next up is Trepidation.
Oh, French to evil.
2,
I like it. Wait, no, I hate the French.
So did we.
Everyone hates
No,
the
we
French.
don't. The Americans
Oh,
like the
listen.
French. Are you
Americans love the
Meat
French.
and stuff, by the way.
Snack? Do you have any concept of world history?
Yeah, the English hate the French, but the Americans like the French because they helped them defeat the English.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
but then you
we
have the whole
don't-
like Iraq thing.
None of us were there. None of us remember defeating the English.
I
Pepperidge
remember.
Farms remembers.
I heard a great joke about that on Cheers once, which is an insanely old show for you young people. But it was basically, if the Americans won the war, why are you still speaking English? It's hilarious.
Very true. They speak American though, according to a lot of them.
I think the main difference is what we mean when we say football.
Yeah.
You also have like a lot of U's where they only have O's.
Also, you guys say thorough, which is just all kinds of fucked up. I mean, like,
What
I
the hell
can't
do
get
you
over that.
say?
How do you
Thorough.
say-
I haven't.
Thorough.
What?
Yeah.
Thorough?
What?
Tara.
Herbs
Hey
I could
Peg, I have an
understand.
issue with how you say issue. Because you have a problem with your schedule. Fucking
Issue. Yeah. Issue.
issue. Good morning, welcome to the BBC and the issues facing
No.
the G20 summit include the
Well, I say
schedule
issue.
of events.
That's pretty much how the BBC works. They just talk about issues.
Okay. Yeah. This map.
So this is a map.
Your tea house is
Yeah,
nice.
that's about the most I can say about it. Sorry, Musen.
I feel like going out top is way more risky than it is rewarding. I mean, if I get through here, then I boost into this portal and then roll along the wall, and it's just like,
well, I like the thought, I like the thought, God.
Wow.
Yeah. I like the thinking behind the top. Like, where you have, like, you go through the gate, and you can either go through the portal, or you can get the boost there, which is kind of a nice risk-reward thing, where it gives you more options in theory, but in practical, like, it's just, you're just going to take that boost straight to the portal no matter what. So, like, it's like an option that would be nice to have if it actually existed on the map.
Tub, usually I think Snack is the worst person at tag around this committee, but holy shit, you've been terrible today.
Wait, it's
Yeah.
not me.
Didn't Snack win, like, a Mooper Ball or something?
technically.
Yeah, from the bench.
Well, technically, it's, like, the best kind.
I mean, I wasn't on the bench in the regular season, but I was in the whole postseason.
That sucks.
No, that's fine. Those guys are better than me. Like without a doubt.
Wait, do you play it on your team?
Ball McCartney, Abe Lincoln, Ball God, Meal. Also known
Okay,
as
that's a
Clown
pretty decent
Machine.
team.
We destroyed everyone, or they destroyed everyone.
Guys, we
I
should
guess.
talk more about the map because Moosen's gonna get really angry for this. if we don't.
It's okay.
Wasn't that the
Yeah,
point?
I'd rather have a regular season record as a starter than a
I'm
championship as a bench player.
okay. So
Okay,
I'm not
that
a fan of like the
Yeah, that was
structures. They see kind of clunky to me. Like
I mean,
especially
you had
these
a
ones
really
further
good
away
game
from
when you
base.
played Majors Fly. I remember that.
A lot of this
Is
map
that a
just
meme? 'Cause I
doesn't
played-
feel that comfortable to me.
A little
I
bit, yeah.
God, I'm
Yeah,
bad.
it just feels very uncomfortable. Like it's not necessarily clunky. It just doesn't flow well to me.
I think the main
Yeah.
problem is that like there are so many boosts and they're kind of like bunched up against 45, so it gives you like that uncomfortable hit on a 45 where you get a bad spin.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like the boost through portal is really uncomfortable.
I like it, Tub. I don't know, man.
The whole bottom lane feels kind of uncomfortable to me too. Just the angle that you have to go through it, I guess. So yeah, nothing really
you had it.
thrills me about this map, and several things kind of bother me.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, the jukes.
I think that just like the top little portal area doesn't do. I thought it was gonna like excite me more, but just kind of exists. People
Yeah.
being like absolutely juked, like no other in the bottom lane though, and I don't know why.
I guess with the portals, it seems like an interesting element, but actually, it doesn't really like
Why?
make that much difference in play.
Personally, I don't understand why there's a 2-tile wide gap with team tiles. I mean, it's just like
Ball
it's
and
just
command.
GG.
That was embarrassing.
It's for the highlights, fam.
3, 2,
We only live in the high.
Are we done yet?
Snack, I'm
Depends
sorry,
on
that was
tab.
mean. I got too caught up in my.
No, oh right, no, we're
I apologize.
meme as well. Yeah.
How many maps do you guys have left?
One or two.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I was like moving out of my dorm and I had finals and I just missed the thread, so I'll be on for the 4v4 testing session.
How'd your
Okay.
finals go? Also, we're on stream, so just be aware of that.
Alright, so the world can know that I failed out of all my classes. Fuck.
Nice.
Alright,
job.
Sorry.
Alright, next up is ultralight meme. It might be last up.
We've always got to end on a beast mode map, I have to say.
Oh right, of course it's a beast mode map. You're known with the name.
2,
At least he's moving away from the map puns and moving into meme puns. But
So
I'm not sure what that was
No,
worse.
check the artist, check the author name.
Yeah, it is a beast mode map, but you'll chance the mapper.
No, he's saying there's the map pun. That's what he's saying.
I think he's doing that so like people won't flame him if the map makes rotation like they did with Mapache Chief.
Yeah, because ultralight meme's so much better than Apache.
No, it's not. That's the point.
So, oh god, Polly. I nominated this because I think the middle is really interesting with the boost through the portals, and I just wanted to see how it would play out with more people, really.
Wait, hold on, Snack. Didn't you nominate one of the other maps that we just tested?
Yeah.
So how many maps have you nominated altogether?
You can nominate as many as you want.
2, I guess.
This is basically STC snack testing
Snack
committee.
test committee.
That actually works. Snack test committee. This is snack.
That sounds like a way more fun committee.
Yeah, I'm hungry. I'm trying to decide if I want to go get pizza or not after this, because I can walk down to.
So can someone like explain to me the usability of the portals, like the ones in base? I'm
But
not
Yeah,
sure
I
get that.
hated those.
Like I feel like I sort of get what they're trying to do, but it doesn't feel like they're actually doing that.
The best part is that they were in all 3 of the maps that he submitted.
I know.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that bothers me the most. Like it's like he discovered like uranium or something. He decided to just like give us all radiation poisoning.
I think one of the maps actually had the portals going from inside to outside.
They did,
Yeah,
The
yeah.
other three
I
didn't.
told him to do that, and then he didn't submit it after all, I believe.
Fuck off, loser!
I mean, this is pretty big. I feel like a lot of the time I can't see like 2/3 of the players.
I think the like low mid portal is kind of weird, but the top mid is pretty fun.
The low mid just isn't like at a natural angle really, unless you've already gone way outside top,
Well,
which is okay, but
if you're approaching bottom from top, then it's a really good angle, but otherwise
Right.
it's kind of weird. So yeah, I guess my favorite thing about this map is just that top area. I think that plays cool. The rest of it maybe isn't too special, but I think that element could be used well.
I think it's kind of interestingly laned. It could be kind of interesting, a boombox style map. I don't know. Holy shit! It's 6:30 in the morning. Should be dead right now.
6:30.
Yeah, it's
It's
like
6:30. I'm supposed to be dead by now.
It's 6:30.
So it's 3.
I've literally spent time here tonight as I did at like work today. That's just not okay. I don't get paid for this.
That's why you're doing more work here. If you
Wait.
get paid, it stops being fun. That's why we're nicknamed the Fun Test Committee.
This is not fun.
I thought we were the snack test committee. That didn't last.
I mean, you're not keeping up with the memes enough.
Nice juice moving.
Speaking of memes, meme test
Thank
committee.
you.
Anybody? Anybody? No.
I prefer my memes fresh.
I just did a really fucking weird boost through the portals.
Team? No one plays V?
Please, we just got the flag carrier.
Yeah, and then you all left as I was coming into
No, that's where the flag carrier was.
Really?
This map kind of feels big in all of the wrong places.
That's
That's what they
She
said about
said.
Adele.
wow. Jealous much?
Clearly not enough.
Shaming committee.
Duke. Duke. Duke.
Can we like mandate that when we test maps, like everyone has to constantly describe whatever move they're doing?
Roll.
Boosting.
Roll.
Portal.
Roll.
Dead.
Roll.
Boost.
Roll.
Oh.
Pup now, pup now, pup now. Getting pup, getting pup. Pup acquired, pup
Anti-re-
acquired. Portal, portal,
Cow.
portal.
Anti
Ooh, nub step, nub step, nub step.
chase.
It's
Oh,
like the
I got
next
Duke.
voiceover guy.
Chase,
You
chase,
guys
chase,
are
rolling,
chase.
rolling.
wonder why people don't like us, and then you do
Regrab,
Spawning, spawning,
regrab,
spawning,
regrab,
Fighting
regrab,
for
regrab,
regrab.
regrab, regrab,
Carry,
regrab,
carry.
regrab.
Rolling, moving. Fighting re, fighting free, fighting free.
Carry,
fighting
carry.
free,
Waiting,
fighting free,
waiting,
fighting
waiting.
free,
Boost.
Fighting free.
Getting
This
off
meme is
free,
dead
getting
already.
a return. I
So
think
for
it's
all of
pretty
you
refreshing.
viewers who are still out there who are still watching this shit, hi. This is the Map Test Committee, and it is 1 a.m. So don't blame us.
It's 6:30 a.m.
It is 3 a.m.
We're in hour 3s with
So,
Norton.
on that subject, Tub, do you want to prolong this or not?
No, I'm done.
Okay.
His nomination was going to be Nightlight, by the way. That was the neutral flag with all the team tiles.
Alright, so let's sort by average and go through the maps. And should we kick Wally out for this? I think
We should have Polly end the stream, yeah. Well, I guess he doesn't have to end the stream, but yeah, we should kick him out.
Okay, I think it's pretty clear a tactical nuke is going straight through. If you look at like the average score.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess we should thank people for watching and stuff.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
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 Bye.